your car, take it to the star. By the Pennsylvania Daily Lottery. Don't forget to play. Lottery proceeds benefit older Pennsylvanians. And by Independence Blue Cross and Pennsylvania Blue Shield. For 57 years, the health insurance company you can lean on.
Whether you're negotiating a deal.
Okay, if you're good, I'll read your story.
Come on, make it 2.
Calling in an order.
Skip the strawberry. We want chocolate.
Scheduling a meeting.
I'm at the Big Artichokes.
Or just checking in with the boss.
Honey, is it okay if I stay another half hour?
The most important thing is that the call goes through. A mobile phone is only as good as the system it's on. Choose Bell Atlantic Mobile, the heart of communication. Call 1-800-255-BELL.
Joe, our nationwide insurance agent, said it reminded him of his first house. It needed a little work.
Patty and her husband got their friends together.
We got the place looking great.
Yeah, I was able to help a little. I mean, since they now have a homeowner's policy with Nationwide, I could offer them a home car discount.
It was a really nice little housewarming gift. I'm glad Joe saved us money because we still have a few little things that need to be fixed up, like
Nationwide is on your side.
Next is Lady. Exceptional hue. Oh, very good color. Prince. Hands. Oh, such stateliness, such majesty.
Larry. Larry.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
The best of show? More?
With more shoulder room, more hip room, and more cargo room than a Ford Ranger or Chevy S10, you could say Dodge Dakota is the perfect size for a truck. And when you can get things like air, cast aluminum wheels, and more for as low as $11,286, you could also say this Dakota 4-cylinder is the perfect size truck for your budget. Dodge Dakota. At America's Truck Stop, your friendly Dodge dealer.
Cubs lineup has Brian McRae leading off, followed by Ray Sanchez, Sammy Sosa, Mark Grace, Rick Wilkins, Sean Dunston, Howard Johnson, Scott Bullitt, and Steve Traxall. And here at Veterans Stadium, we are set to go with the ball game. The Phillies and the Chicago Cubs as Mike Williams takes over the hill for the Phillies, 0-0. 4.73 earned run average, making his second start. Saturday against San Diego, he got a no decision. Phillies won the game in 10 innings, 5-4. Lifetime 0-1 against the Chicago Cubs. Brian McRae over this year from Kansas City. He's given the Cubs a nice guy on the leadoff spot, and here's a ball that's fair down the left field line. Ground rule double on the first pitch of the ball game. McRae is at second base.
McRae not wasting any time, comes out and swings at Williams' first pitch. Ball tailing away from him, doesn't try to pull it, just hits it right down the left field line. Jeffrey's over, but can't corral it. It hits on that tartan turf area right there, the rubberized track, bounces high over the fence, so score that a book rule double. Brian McRae on after one pitch for the Cubs here in the bottom of the first, the top of the first.
Brings up an interesting point, Teak. We're going to see with the daylight here, as we always do on the Sunday games, some high bounces. Of course, you're going to see it off the tartan track, as you mentioned, but you'll see it off the turf as well. Players have to be aware of that, and it's the kind of day where you will generally see some ground rule hits.
Especially this year with the new turf installed at Veterans Stadium. The new padding, when it warms up on a hot day, a lot more lively.
Sanchez lines a single out into left field. Muser waves the runner around. The throw comes through, is cut off. Played at second, safe. Sanchez drives in McRae. It's 1-0 Chicago. It's a single for Sanchez. He takes second on the throw.
Sanchez just gets out in front of this ball, lines it into left field. A little bit slow on this relay right here. The throw from Jeffrey is kind of in a little bit of an arc. By the time it gets to Charlie Hayes, it gets it back into second base. Sanchez able to slide in under the tag. Big John McSherry makes the call.
So the Cubs are off to some fireworks here at the outset. 2 batters and a 1-run lead. Sammy Sosa coming up now. He's their RBI leader with 27. Sosa enjoying a good year, batting at .315. Sosa also leads them in homers. He has 10, and that's second in the league, right behind Matt Williams. A pop-up. A play here for Hollins toward the stands. Just enough room.
Well, the defense has been tested already. Dave Hollins at first, Mariano Duncan at second, Kevin Stalker at short, Charlie Hayes at third. Greg Jeffries, we've seen him already in left field. Lenny Dykstra in center, Gary Varsho in right, Lenny Webster doing the catching.
The batter is Mark Grace, re-signed as a free agent by the Cubs this offseason. That's been a very important part of their success. A .322 average and 18 extra base hits to rank 5th in the league in that category. Mark Grace brings a 12-game hitting streak into the contest today, the longest for any Cub this year. Grace takes low, ball 1. Grace 2 for 3 in his career off Williams, including a home run, as we check Sanchez at second base.
Andy, you always have to remember when you're talking about Mark Grace, you talk about the offensive numbers, but he's also one of the finer defensive first basemen in the National League.
Boy, that's for sure. Steve Stone, the Cub broadcaster, was telling us before the game that he's probably saved somewhere between 12 and 15 errors for his infielders on throws he pulls out of the dirt over there.
Yeah, very good on balls in the dirt, very good on balls hit down the line. Covers the line, and to him that's a backhanded play, being a left-handed first baseman. Doesn't make too many mistakes defensively. They're just a good all-around player.
One thing that Grace has lacked over the years is hitting for power. He's hitting for some more now. He's got 5 home runs already. And obviously by batting him out of the cleanup spot, they are confident that he can drive in runs. Most of his career, he's been a 3-hole hitter. Ball hit in the air to left field. Jeffries back. Puts it away for the out. Tagging at second is Sanchez. Here's the throw. It's late. He moves. And there are 2 outs in the inning. That's a little dangerous, isn't it?
Well, if you're going to go to third base with 2 outs, you have to make sure that you're going to get there. Jeffries catches the ball on the gloved hand side. He has to make a turn before he throws it. Gets rid of it quickly, but Sanchez, with some pretty good speed, gets into third base. You never want to make the 3rd out at third base in an inning. So if you're going to tag up on that play and go to third, you better make sure that you're going to get there.
In steps Rick Wilkins. He's hitting at .213, 3 homers, 8 runs batted in. He's got a good eye. 24 walks for him to rank 6th in the league. So you got to get it over when you're pitching to Wilkins. He takes high and away a ball.
That's a turnaround for him too, because normally he was one of those guys that would swing at just about anything, but this year much more disciplined at the plate, taking the walks.
What a year he had in '93 when he was a .300 hitter with 30 home runs. And that really is saying something. Only a handful of catchers have ever done that. Roy Campanella did it 3 times. Joe Torre did it once. Gabby Hartnett did it. Walker Cooper did it. And Mike Piazza did it, also in '93. So he's up in some pretty good company there. Pop-up, foul, out of play. The backup catcher for the Cubs, our old friend Todd Pratt. And checking the stat sheet this morning, Pratt still looking for a hit. Todd has been to the plate 13 times without getting a hit so far as the backup catcher. Wilkins lunges at one. Going to be a tough play. Stalker takes charge. Wilkins out. Stalker a good running catch. Cubs get a run, 2 hits, 1 man left on base, 1-0 Chicago.
Dad?
No.
There's something I want to tell you.
What is it, son?
Well, Dad, you're my dad. And I love you, man.
You're not getting my Bud Light, Johnny. For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
Ray, forget it, Johnny.
Who's worried about the air we're breathing? Who's controlling emissions and expanding the use of non-polluting fuels? And who's already decreased the pollutants in our air by more than 3 million tons a year? Who? People like you. People who live here. People who know what you care about.
Fans Age 14 and under receive a full-color set of Phillies action photo trading cards, compliments of Mellon PSFS, when the Phillies play the Florida Marlins Saturday, June 17th at 7:05. Brand new thrills, silver season memories. Call 463-1000.
1-0 Cubs on a beautiful day here at Veterans Stadium, and let's see how the Phillies are going to bat today. Lenny Dykstra leads off, followed by Mariano Duncan, Greg Jeffries, Dave Hollins, Charlie Hayes, Gary Varsho. Webster will be the catcher today, Kevin Stocker the shortstop, and Mike Williams on the hill.
Defensively for Jim Riggleman's Cubs, Mark Grace at first, Ray Sanchez at second, Sean Dunstan's the shortstop, and Howard Johnson over at third today. Scott Bullitt plays left with Brian McRae in center, Sammy Sosa in right. Rick Wilkins does the catching, and on the mound, 6'4", 205-pound right-hander Steve Traxel. Traxel's making his 7th start of the season for the Cubs. His last start was this past Friday against the Marlins at Wrigley Field. In that ball game, he had a no decision game in which the Cubs lost by a score of 5-3. Pitched 6 innings, gave up 5 hits, 3 runs, 2 walks, and 5 strikeouts. Primarily a fastball, forkball combination pitcher. Uses the forkball for his off-speed pitch and has had a lot of success with that forkball this year, so we'll see how he does this afternoon. Usually tries to set up the hitters early in the count with the fastball, comes back, uses the forkball for the out pitch.
Lenny Dykstra, the Phillies table setter, has been struggling. He's 0 for 16. He was not on base in the entire Dodger series. He takes a strike. Lenny at 270 right now with no homers, 9 runs batted in. Don't often see Lenny bunt, but still Howard Johnson is short at third base. Pitches high, a ball. Lenny 1 hit and 3 at bats off Traxel. Hojo level with the bag. Hojo getting his 4th start as the Cubs third baseman. Pitches inside a ball. Gene Dias just hands us a note. A Phillies win today would break the National League record held by the 1907 Cubs for going the most games into a season without losing 2 straight. Cubs didn't lose 2 straight that year until games 33 and 34. And this is game 33 for the Phillies. Of course, they lost yesterday 4-1 to the Dodgers. The Major League record is held by the 1929 Philadelphia Athletics, who did not lose 2 straight until games 51 and 52.
Wow.
Truly remarkable.
That's 2 months.
The home plate umpire today is Greg Bonin, and he is known, Teak, as a pitcher's umpire.
Yeah, he's got a pretty good strike zone. He's rather generous. Not overly generous, but he will give you the pitches on the corner, and he's pretty consistent. Yeah, once he establishes a strike zone and the pitch is a strike, it'll be a strike all day long.
What both sides are asking for there, and Lenny coaxes a walk. So Dykstra aboard for the first time in a couple of ball games. And Mariano Duncan today is heading out of that number 2 hole as Morandini gets the afternoon off. Mickey 2 has been struggling. He, like Lenny, is 0 for 16. Duncan batting at .319, 2 homers, 6 runs batted in.
Mentioned at the top of the show, the Phillies need to get the offense going again. You know, sometimes when you're winning ball games and you're in this case with the Phillies, your offense is a little bit sluggish. You know, you have a tendency to overlook it because you are winning, but this club is geared toward scoring runs, and in the long run, for the success over the long course of the season, the offense is going to have to start producing a little bit more.
Pitches a ball. Yeah, coming out of spring training, the Phillies, I think, felt quite confident that their offense would produce more than it has so far. I also think that they weren't quite as enthusiastic about the pitching staff as compared to the way it's turned out.
Well, the pitching has been outstanding, and you know, for most of this homestand, that's what's held the Phillies in the ball games. There've been a lot of low-scoring games, and you know, at the beginning of the year when you talked about the Phillies, you were thinking they were going to have to win 6-5, 5-4. Those were the type of games, but a lot of 3-2, 2-1 games have been won by the Phillies, and that's nice. It's good that you're winning them. It's good that you're winning those kind of games when the offense isn't producing. But over the long haul, that offense is going to have to put some points on the board.
Traxel again throws to first. He has an annoying habit of throwing over there frequently. So look for that this afternoon. That's one of the little notes about Traxel. Now, talking about the Cubs defensively, they're right about in the middle of the pack. 14-team league. They rank 8th, I believe. They have committed 23 errors. The Phillies second in the league with just 17 errors. Traxel, by the way, was the Sporting News National League Rookie Pitcher of the Year last year. He was 9-7 to lead the Cubs. A 3.21 earned run average, and he did place 4th in the Rookie of the Year voting. Two balls and a strike on Duncan. You know, one thing about the Phillies this year, you talk about this not losing back-to-back games. It's fine. That's just a statistic. But what it really tells you is that they don't take a loss hard. I mean, you know, yesterday's game is yesterday's game, and they come back and they play the next one.
It's almost as if a loss kind of makes them a little bit more determined the next day to make sure you go out and get the job done. And that's a sign of a winning ball club. You know, you don't like a club that gets comfortable with losing. Traxel, we'll see that quite often today over to first base. You know, sometimes, you know, you get a club that, you know, they start accepting the fact that they're going to lose. And okay, so we'll lose one. We lost a couple in a row. And when you do that, you have a tendency, you know, that those losing streaks don't get you fired up and get you going again. So far this year, the Phillies have rebounded nicely after every one of those losses.
Out of play off Duncan's bat. You'd have to say Traxel is the ace of this Chicago staff. A staff which has some injuries. Mike Morgan is back and pitching for them now, but they still have some guys on the DL, including Jim Bollinger, who just went on recently.
And he was their opening day pitcher. Anthony Young on the disabled list.
His breaking ball has missed. That was his fork ball. And it's a full count. He's run back-to-back counts here on the first two hitters. Now you take those pitches plus the ones he's made to first base. The guy's got to be tired already. See if Lenny goes here. That's kind of like a reflex action, the way he threw over there.
It's become an annoying habit. Best way to stop from having to throw over there is not to put so many guys on. Obviously, if you throw over there a lot of times, I mean, there's a lot of people standing on first base.
Dykstra goes, and the pitch is foul ball, just barely foul. It's obvious that Hojo wasn't going to get it, but that ball was foul as called by the third base umpire, Charlie Williams. Charlie had it all the way.
And with Dykstra on the move, if that ball is fair, the way it kicked off the stands down in left field, he's probably going to come all the way around and score. So Traxel fortunate that that ball was just foul.
Traxel tying a shoelace.
And Duncan returning to get a new bat. Got that one on the hands just a little bit. Put that one in the bin. It'll be firewood this winter.
Back in the old days, you always saw Mariano spelling Morandini against a tough left-handed pitcher. It's just the opposite today. And it's more, instead of a platoon situation, it's more like the old day game after a night game routine, with also Mickey slumping a bit lately, 0 for his last 16. Dykstra has stolen 5 bases in 9 tries. Now the crowd's starting to pick up on this.
Doesn't take them long, does it?
No, it doesn't. Ground ball to second. Get the out at second base, and that's it. It was not a double play ball, and Sanchez flipped to Dunston for the force at second.
As Lenny was going down to second base, he had to just hesitate for a second to let that ball pass in front of him. See right here, Lenny has to wait and for that ball, and just that little bit of hesitation gave the Cubs enough time to get the force play at second. You can't run in front of the baseball. You've got to avoid it. So Lenny had to pull up and gave the Cubs just enough time.
Greg Jeffries steps in. Jeffries is a .351 lifetime hitter off Cubs pitching. And hot lately, 6 for his last 12, getting him up to .265. That's a strike, says Bona. Jeffries, the hardest player in the National League to strike out. Strikes out once every 41 at-bats. Fanned just 3 times this year. Ball and a strike. Phillies didn't have that many games with the Cubs last year because of the strike-shortened year. The Phillies only played the Cubs 7 times, and they beat them 6 out of the 7. They swept them 3-0 here at the Vet, and they took 3 out of 4 at Wrigley Field. Phillies have already been wiped out of 1 series in Chicago this year. They'll make just 1 trip to Chicago this year. Probably be the first summer in Rich Ashburn's career that he hasn't gone to Chicago.
He will not make it to Chicago.
Nope.
That's the weekend of the Hall of Fame inductions. Whitey will be in Cooperstown.
Foul away. The great Rich on radio today with Harry and Wheels. Kind of casual over in the radio booth, you know. You don't take things too seriously, you know. You don't get your throat all tightened with a necktie, you know.
Kind of sitting back, got the sunglasses on.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice summer afternoon.
Ground ball to third. Hojo can't get it. Fair ball. Extra bases. Duncan coming to third. Bo is going to score him. It's a tie ball game on a double by Jeffries.
The ball by Duncan just foul. This one by Jeffries keeps it inside the bag. A looping breaking ball from Traxel on the outside gets it by Johnson at third base down into the corner. Duncan off and running right away. See, Scott Bullitt cuts it off, but by the time he gets it back in, Duncan moves all the way around, crosses the plate. So give Jeffries an RBI, give the Phillies a run, knock that score up at 1-1 in the bottom of the first.
Number 13 in the RBI column for Greg. And the Phillies have it even here with 1 out. In steps Dave Hollins. Dave at 248. Hollins takes a breaking ball for a strike. Hollins has never batted off Steve Traxel. He was hurt in Traxel's previous appearances against the Phillies. Fastball high, 1 ball, 1 strike. Traxel has an interesting record. Since the start of the '94 season, he is 10-0 on the road, 2-0 on the road this year. He has lost 1 road game in his career, but it was in the '93 season. Strike, 1-2 on Holland. Dave tied for the league lead in runs. He's crossed the plate 31 times. He leads the league in walks with 36. Cubs are gone from here to Florida for a series and then on to Atlanta before going back to Wrigley Field for their first extended homestand of the year beginning June 8th. The Phillies, of course, are headed for California and play the Giants tomorrow at Candlestick. So Hollins is the first strikeout victim of the afternoon for Traxel. 2 outs.
Like the fork ball. See the ball come up into the hitting area just as Dave gets ready to attack it. It drops down low out of there and not able to make contact. That's the mentioned. The fastball is what he sets up. The fork ball is what he uses to get you out with, and Traxel does it right there.
Nice hand for Charlie Hayes. Slick fielding third baseman, moved up in the lineup today, and with Darren Dalton sitting this one out, Charlie bats in the 5 spot. He leads the club with 21 runs batted in. Bouncing ball to Howard Johnson. Hojo makes the play across in time for the final out of the inning. Phillies have tied the ball game. 1 run, 1 hit, and 1 man left on base. And after 1, it is 1-1.
Houston's made some big changes, but you'll still see their big stars like Bagwell, Biggio, and Drabek when the Astros play the Phillies Tuesday, June 13th, Wednesday, June 14th, and Thursday, June 15th, all at 7:35. Relive memories of the past. Then, watch the hitmen of the present try to put a hurt on Houston in this special silver season. What a season. What a show. Call 463-1000. That's 463-1000.
First, I figured I'd forgotten where I'd parked. And then I knew. I called my husband, the police, and Ken, my nationwide insurance agent.
Willie was upset. You don't get your car stolen every day.
2 days later, my car showed up.
Broken windows, scratches. I mean, nothing major.
It wasn't a pretty sight, but the check sure was. Ken got it to me the next day.
Helping someone. It's a good feeling. That's why I'm a nationwide agent.
Nationwide is on your side.
Your advertising is your voice in the marketplace. Advertise in the genuine Bell Atlantic yellow pages, and your voice reaches more customers. A bigger ad gives you a bigger voice. A color ad gives your voice more impact. But if you don't have an ad, it's like having no voice at all. 9 out of 10 use it, and they're all ears. The genuine Bell Atlantic yellow pages. Bell Atlantic, the heart of communication.
We're back at Veterans Stadium. It's a 1-1 tie as we head to the second inning. And leading off for Chicago will be their shortstop, Sean Dunston. He's really come to life as an offensive player. Dunston, of course, was out with back problems for a while, and it's taken him quite a time to really get back and play the game the way he wants to. But you saw that average there, 340, 10th best in the league.
Yeah, I think the back injury probably even helped Dunston. I mean, he went through a lot of problems getting back, but now, you know, Dunston used to pull the ball almost exclusively. Now hits a lot of balls to the right side, and I think it's because of the fact that he had the back problem. He's not able to take that big wild swing that he took before. Still has the capability of turning on the pitch on the inside, but stays back a little better and will hit that ball away from him the opposite way. So Dunston's ability to hit the ball to all fields, I think, the reason why his batting average has improved.
And there's one the opposite way, but it's a lazy fly ball for Varsho, and Gary, the one-time Cub, makes the catch.
It's your chance to play big league ball with Phillies legends in Clearwater, Florida at Phillies Dream Week. 1 full week to play ball all day and party all night with myself, Johnny Callison, Lazinski, Bo, and a whole lot more. Call 215-938-1200 and ask about the special no money down affordable monthly program, payment program that is. The number again, 215-938-1200 for Phillies Dream Week.
Hojo, Howard Johnson. Talking to Hojo this morning, and he went through the Homestead camp to get his job with the Cubs. In fact, he started the season in the minor leagues and then was brought up to the Cubs and added to their roster. And right now, Steve Buechele, the regular third baseman, has an ankle injury, so Hojo getting a chance to play, at least against a right-handed pitcher. Yesterday against a left-handed pitcher, Jose Hernandez was the Cubs' third baseman. Until last Sunday, Hojo was 0 for 21, but then he hit his first 2 home runs in a Cubs uniform, so they started to pay a little more attention to him.
That'll get your attention. All managers, Jim Riggleman included, like to see the ball fly out of the ballpark.
And in Wrigley, it frequently does.
Yes, the friendly confines, unless you're a pitcher.
I could tell by the way you said that you didn't mean it.
Well, it's funny when you pull up to Wrigley Field. You can watch the players get off the bus, and you look out at the flags above the field, and if they're blowing out, the hitters rush off the bus, and the pitchers are real slow. If they're turned around the other way and blowing in, all of a sudden the pitchers are running off the bus, and the hitters are kind of just dragging their feet a little bit, getting into the field. It really does make a difference in Wrigley.
Good fastball by Mike Williams. One thing about Wrigley Field, though, just wait a half an hour and they'll change. That's very fickle weather out there next to that lake.
That's why they have all those flags up on top of the stadium, so you can keep track of all that.
You know, the last couple of years they've kept track of how often the wind blows in and how often it blows out. And I don't have the numbers in front of me. We're just talking about this now. But they found out it doesn't blow out as often as you think it does.
No, but when it does blow out, it's when you see those games that you remember forever.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's when the pop-ups go out. Yeah, that's true.
Small ballpark to start with, and then when that wind's blowing out.
So there was recently a 12 home run game in the major leagues, and it wasn't at Wrigley. Line drive to right. Varsho makes the catch. Hojo hits it on the button, and he's out. And you know where that was, of course. It was Tiger Stadium.
There's the Cubs' new skipper, Jim Riggleman. Took over the ball club this year, and I guess you'd have to say that he's off to a pretty good start in his new locale in Chicago. Got the Cubs in first place.
They've got in Chicago a whole new chain of command this year as Scott Bullitt is up at the plate. Andy MacPhail, of course, has taken over as the president and chief executive officer, and Ed Lynch is now the general manager, with Riggleman moving over from San Diego. So whole new way of thinking in Chicago.
And at least until this point, they are all on the right page.
I saw some good-looking guy upstairs here in a beautifully hand-tailored gray suit today, and I knew he had to be one of the Tribune executives, you know, because he was so beautiful. I'll get to this in a minute. Here's a ground ball to second. That ends the inning, and down go the Cubs. You're watching Phillies baseball on Sports Channel. Cubs go out in turn. It's a 1-1 ball game heading to the bottom of the second.
Monet, Matisse, Gauguin, that's some of the artwork I used to own.
What a wussy.
But thanks to Prism, now I got some real artwork. A limited edition print. If you keep your grubby mitts off it, someday it'll be worth something. A Philly Hall of Famers, Roberts, Carlton Schmidt, and Richie Ashburn. It's signed and numbered by Hall of Fame artist Dick Perez. And I got it just for ordering Prism. I even got 1 month free. So do yourself a favor and call 1-800-CABLE-ME. It's destined to become a collector's item.
I like practicing my kind of caring medicine with Keystone for the Blues. My patients get the quality care and personal attention they deserve. They learn to stay healthy with regular checkups, and there are no claim forms. All this and Keystone's wellness programs are covered under the plan. Plus, I can refer them to the finest area hospitals and specialists. I'm pleased to be affiliated with Keystone. They encourage the kind of medicine I believe in.
Ask your employer for Keystone. We're the caring HMO you can lean on.
Hey, I can make this guitar sing, but to make my engine sing, I need a great motor oil. Nothing works better than Kendall oil, and right now Kendall's got a deal that'll be music to your ears. Just buy a case of Kendall and you'll get $3 in concert cash through Ticketmaster. $3 off any concert or special event of your choice with every case of Kendall. No strings attached. Kendall motor oil. Hey man, buy it at these locations.
Travel provided by U.S. Air. U.S. Air announces daily nonstop service from Philadelphia to Frankfurt, Germany, starting June 11th.
Here at Veterans Stadium, 1-1 going to the bottom half of the second, and Gary Varsho, who was originally drafted by the Cubs, will be leading it off here. Varsho, Webster, and Stocker to bat. So here's this good-looking Tribune executive. I mean, he's got to be. I see him, and I say a good morning to him up here on the press level. Now I see this same fella down on the field around the batting cage. And shortly, he walks over and introduces himself to me, and he says, "I'm Wayne Laramie, the new Cubs announcer." Varsho is out. That's 1 down. Best-dressed announcer I ever saw. As you know, Harry Carey is not making road trips with the Cubs this year, and Laramie gets the trips.
So Harry does all the home games. Laramie does all the road games.
And that's why he's got to dress like that. You need a suit on the charter. Traxel now goes to work on Lenny Webster. Lenny, the backup catcher for the Phillies. And Webster 4 for 7 in his last 2 starts. Obviously, with a .211 average, he got off to a slow start, but he certainly picked up the pace.
Oh, wait a second. The Phillies have a charter tonight, and I didn't see you in quite the same outfit
No.
I saw Laramie in.
Nor will you. But the Phillies do, just to follow up on that, have the same rule that you must wear a jacket on the charter.
Right.
No sneaks. So I can't jog up and down the aisle.
I think it's a good rule. I mean, when you're representing the ball club, you're going through public airports. You know, it's a you're very recognizable, obviously, when you have 25 guys getting off a plane all at the same time jumping on a bus together. You know, kind of get recognized as a group of athletes. So I think it's right that you dress properly and represent your club and your game best way possible.
interesting to hear Teak come up with all this, because as a player.
Well, sometimes your views change as you mature.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for helping me out, because I didn't want to bury you on my own, although I would have. Webster coaxes a walk. So the Phillies have a base runner with one down in the second, and Kevin Stocker will bat. And you can't say enough about what Stock's done out of the number 8 hole. He's walked now in the last 5 straight games. He's drawn a walk, and here is a guy with a dozen RBIs out of the 8 hole. That's not bad.
No, it really isn't. And, you know, the average is down a little bit this year. In fact, it's down quite a bit for Kevin, 211. But, you know, we've talked so many times about how difficult it is to hit in that 8 spot with the pitcher behind you. Kevin's average will get back up there. I think, you know, probably the first couple years he has hit more than anybody expected him to. Probably not quite as good an average hitter as he has been the first couple years, but also not as bad as he is right now. I think, you know, probably you see Kevin eventually is going to get up to that 250, 260 range. And if he's doing that and playing the good solid defense, he'd be a big contributor to this ball club. You know, if you can hit 250 out of that 8 hole, you're doing a pretty good job.
Traxel gets it over. He's ahead in the count 0-2. Now, Traxel's showing us something here. He knows that's a catcher at first base. He hasn't thrown over there yet, has he?
Don't believe that he won't, though.
But he's going to give Webster a little more liberty than he gave Dykstra. 1-2. You can't give too much credit to Ferguson Jenkins and what he's done with this Cubs pitching staff, because they came out of spring training much like the Phillies, an unheralded staff with guys on the DL. And they and the Phillies are right up there in the league earned run average. The Cubs leading it. High again. It's 2-2.
Well, if you want somebody to teach a pitching staff how to pitch, and especially how to pitch in Wrigley Field, Ferguson Jenkins is the guy. You know, for all those years that he pitched with the Cubs, you know, in that ballpark, short fences, the wind blowing out part of the time, he was just absolutely phenomenal. His numbers were phenomenal for anybody, but to be able to do that in Wrigley Field your entire career was really something special.
Mark Grace goes for the lead man and gets him. He took his time, had the good angle because he fielded that ball well in front of first. So Webster is out, Stocker is safe on a fielder's choice, and Mike Williams bats.
See, Grace fields the ball well inside, and then being a left-hander, of course, makes the throw to second base a little easier because he is throwing the ball around the runner, not throwing it through him. Talked about Grace and his defense, just steady all the way around, always makes good decisions, the great hands around the bag, and just good baseball instincts.
Mike Williams.
Besides that, he's not a bad hitter.
Not bad at all. You saw that Mike Williams 0 for 2, but you know he had that suicide squeeze bunt in his last game and got a run home on that. A play that Jimmy Fregosi employs very rarely because he figures too many things can go wrong on that play, but the night that Mike Williams tried it, everything went perfectly.
Grace moves behind at first base, playing behind Stocker.
No balls and 2 strikes on Williams. Mike has 7 major league hits. He's a 194 lifetime batter. 6 runs batted in for him. On the ground, chopped toward third. Howard Johnson gets Mike Williams on a close play. Phillies, no runs, no hits, and 1 man left on base. After 2, 1-1 game.
Get out of the rut and into the ballpark for a midday midweek Mellon PSFS Business Person Special. Thursday, June 29th at 1:05 when the Phillies play the Cincinnati Reds. For tickets, call 463-1000.
The Bud Light Amateur Beach Challenge. They're lean. They're mean.
Ooh, they're killing us. Yeah. How about 2 out of 3?
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down,
What's wrong with her?
make it a Bud Light.
A special allocation of America's best-selling car, Ford Taurus, means now's the best time to save big on a huge selection. Now get 6.9 APR financing or up to $1,500 cash back from Ford. And Taurus comes loaded with dual airbags, V6 power, and air conditioning, plus up to $1,500 cash back. But hurry, it all ends June 3rd, and so does your chance to get $1,500 cash back or 6.9 financing. So get to your Quality Plus Ford dealer and get the best Taurus deal of the year.
Al, we got a player.
I'd like the lottery ticket.
Yeah, she is a player. She's a big player. I'll say, straight. You're nuts. Straight, and backs it up with a pair.
428 and box it.
Oh, she's so boxing. Ding, 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 ding. Bring it. All right, okay. All right. Oh, thanks. All right. Hey, Adrian, you know her? No, I don't know her, Ed. I was making a literary reference.
Pennsylvania Lottery's daily number. Play a pair, box, or play it straight.
Happy 70th birthday to Ann Minetti of Audubon, New Jersey, celebrating today, and hope she's watching our ball game and enjoying it. What a glorious day for a baseball game here at the Vet. Go to the third inning. Steve Traxel leads it off for the Cubs, and teams hate to lead off an inning with a pitcher because you figure it's a 2-out inning unless you get awfully lucky. But Traxel could get him lucky because, as you see, he's hitting .273. He has 3 hits and 11 at-bats, and he's a 200 lifetime hitter. So he's not an automatic out up there. Takes a strike.
In fact, that .273 average higher than 4 of the other members of the Cubs starting lineup today.
But untested, though, with only 11 at-bats. No balls and 2 strikes on the 6'4" Traxel. I bet he's not going to draw many walks. Mike Williams got taken to task by the top of the lineup today. There's a strikeout, Mike's first. First pitch of the game was hit for a double, which turned into their run. Take a look at the top 5 picks in the draft today, and we'll skip right down to the bottom with Reggie Taylor having been drafted 14th by Philadelphia. He's a high school center fielder from South Carolina. And Malvern's Ben Davis did go indeed to San Diego. So the prophets of the draft had it doped out just right. Here's McRae. This time he bunts. Mike Williams decides to let it go, and that was a smart decision. Mike could have fielded it, but McRae's got great speed. He might not have gotten him.
Yeah, McRae was down the line ahead of the ball, and usually the rule of thumb for a pitcher is if the runner is in front of the baseball, try to let it go foul. Fortunately for Mike, this ball chopped a little bit up in the air. You see McRae out in front of the ball. If he beats the ball that far down, let it go. Mike thought about grabbing it for a second, but then lets it go, and it goes into foul territory. Good choice on his part. The other problem being when you get over that close to the line, if you do field it, you have to throw it almost through the runner to get it to first base.
Big rip this time, so it's 0-2 on McRae, who had 2 hits in yesterday's game against the Braves. One of them was the game-winning hit. Gets a lot of extra base hits. He has 13 doubles. He has 4 triples, among the league leaders in triples. In fact, he's tied for the league lead. But he doesn't have a very good on-base percentage. A .307 on-base percentage is really not enough for your leadoff guy.
But when he does get on, he's given the Cubs something they haven't had for a while, and that's speed at the top of the lineup. The Cubs have always been a very sluggish ball club. They had to hit the ball and move the runners around that way. Never a whole lot of speed in the lineup, but McRae does change that.
Out of play. It's 2-2 on Brian McRae, whose daddy, of course, was his manager in Kansas City. They were able to get him from Kansas City for a couple of minor leaguers simply because the Royals were trimming payroll. His father now is with the Cincinnati Reds. Jammed in. Mike Williams makes the fielding play and gets him. McRae is out on a comebacker. Second out of the inning. Ray Sanchez, the second baseman, will come up. Now, Sanchez is a pretty good player. Of course, he's no Ryan Sandberg, and I guess Cub fans will always compare him to Sandberg, the man whom he replaced.
Well, there aren't too many Ryan Sandbergs come around, so really not a fair comparison for Sanchez. But he has done an outstanding job for the Cubs since Sandberg's retirement. He basically filled in since day one and has done everything the Cubs could ask of him. Good, solid offensive contributor.
As witness his single today, he knocked in the first run of this ball game.
And no, he doesn't have the gold gloves on his shelf that Sandberg had, but he's done an admirable job at second base.
He's got his second straight hit. Another single to left field. And Sanchez 2 for 2. That's the first Cub hit since his other single.
Gets a fastball up in the strike zone from Williams. That's the danger zone right there. Sanchez likes the ball up and he likes the fastball, and usually when he gets one, that's what he does with it. Hits it hard somewhere. 2 hopper to Jeffries and left, so Sanchez a 2-out base runner for the Cubs.
Sammy Sosa, Cubs' top producing player with 10 homers and 27 runs batted in. Sammy is also a good outfielder, and although he oftentimes misses the cutoff man,
usually high.
yeah, that's right. But he does have 51 career assists from the outfield, including 3 this year. So you're advised not to take too many liberties with Sammy.
He's got a good strong arm, just not always real accurate.
Ball and a strike on Sosa.
You know, the Cubs outfield with Sosa in right, McRae in center, and Scott Bullitt in left today. A lot of speed out there in the outfield. Really going to be difficult to get balls through the gaps because these guys, all 3, can run very well. McRae and Sosa. McRae has a good arm. Sosa has a great one. So, you know, they can cut the ball off and get it back in pretty quickly. So the balls in the gaps are going to be difficult to come by today.
Ground ball cut off by Hayes, makes the play to second base. You're watching Phillies baseball on Sports Channel. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left on base. Bottom of the 3rd, coming up, it's 1-1.
Cooperstown, New York. It's small town America, and it's the American game. Baseball's heroes and treasures all gathered together in a magical building on Main Street. This is Joe Garagiola inviting you to visit the Baseball Hall of Fame in the perfect village of Cooperstown, New York. I tell you, it's a special place. A place of dreams and memories. Don't you miss it.
Cars that can benefit from higher octane.
Frank, we're late.
Texaco Clean System 3 Power Plus and Power Premium are formulated to clean your engine's intake valves, fuel injectors, and combustion chambers while you're driving. For smooth starts and sure acceleration, just give us 5 tanks, and we think you'll see a difference. A word of advice. Maybe you should keep the windows rolled up.
Add more life to your car. Take it to the star.
Your advertising is your voice in the marketplace. Advertise in the genuine Bell Atlantic yellow pages, and your voice reaches more customers. A bigger ad gives you a bigger voice. A color ad gives your voice more impact. But if you don't have an ad, it's like having no voice at all. 9 out of 10 use it, and they're all ears. The genuine Bell Atlantic yellow pages. Bell Atlantic, the heart of communication.
Phillies baseball is brought to you by Bud Light. If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light. By the Yellow Pages, 9 out of 10 people use the genuine Bell Atlantic Yellow Pages. And by Pico Energy. We're focusing our energies on you, Pico Energy.
We have some heat radiating from the field. It was 81 degrees here at game time and is considerably hotter down there on the field, no doubt. Lenny Dykstra to lead off the Phillies' 3rd inning. Lenny walked his first time up. 1-1 ball game. Traxel hits the corner with that pitch. A little more on Reggie Taylor, the fellow the Phillies drafted in their 14th spot, and they're first in the draft today. He's a left-handed hitting outfielder, and according to Baseball America, a well-regarded publication, he was the 10th top overall prospect, and he was the #1 high school product. So the Phillies certainly did their homework and had a little luck too to get him in the 14th round. Traxel gets his breaking ball over for a strike, and it's 1-2 on Lenny.
You know, a lot of ball clubs, when they go into the draft, are looking for the quick fix, and they look to the college players, you know, the older, more mature players. But Phillies electing to go with the younger player, the high school player, Reggie Taylor, and take some time to let him mature in the minor league system, give him some time to get the experience. But a lot of times, if you do that and you can wait long enough to get those guys to the big leagues, they can become superstars, because you can develop a player more quickly within your own organization in the minor league system than you can having that same player go to 4 years of college. He'll be a better player after 4 years, after playing 4 years of minor league ball, than he will be after playing 4 years of college ball, just because of the level of competition.
A little bit inside, it's 2-2. Dykstra trying to work Traxel again. Traxel has walked a pair. Base hit. Lenny Dykstra snaps his 0 for 16 with a solid single to right.
Lenny finally got that fastball he was looking for. Traxel up in the strike zone. The ball tails back over the plate. Talking about Mark Grace being able to catch a lot down there. Well, he couldn't catch that one. That was lined solidly by him into right field. So Lenny's off the snide finally, and that's got to feel pretty good. Lenny's not used to going that long without getting some knocks.
Well, he rarely goes that long. You're right. Mariano Duncan hit into a fielder's choice first time up, and then Dunk was on base when Jeffries doubled, and Dunk has scored the Phillies' only run. Cubs infield looking for 2 here. They've got a very good defensive infield. It's one of their strengths. High, 1 ball, 1 strike on Duncan. Mariano carrying a .313 average, not playing as much as he had in the past. Mickey Morandini's been playing so well and has earned that regular second base job. But Jim Fregosi says he's going to start to rest people. You know, we're still relatively early in the year and the weather hasn't gotten hot yet. But eventually Duncan's going to spell Stocker at short, probably spell Hayes at third, and of course Morandini.
And one of the reasons are days like today, normally scheduled off days now with the juggling of the schedule, have become playing days. So a lot more times you're going to play a lot more consecutive games. The players are going to have to be given a day off that they normally would have got due to the gaps in the schedule. But trying to make up as many of those games as possible has taken away a lot of those off days. So the manager's actually going to have to give the players the day off rather than the schedule itself.
Two and 2. Today's game is one of 4 that was added to the Phillies schedule. Another is a game right after the All-Star break, the day after the All-Star game. In fact, July 12th here at Veterans Stadium with the Cardinals. Another game was added to a 3-game series in Colorado. Has become a 4-game series. And our 4th and favorite is the 1-day stop in Pittsburgh, going from Montreal to Pittsburgh to New York in 3 days. Ground ball nubbed to third. Hojo to second. Once dropped. Safe. Was not taking it out of his glove. Everybody safe. That'll be an error on Sanchez.
See right here, Hojo gets the ball to second base. John McSherry rightfully says that Sanchez was not taking the ball out of the glove. What he was actually doing, he never did have control of the ball in his glove. Lenny getting a good jump right here. Goes hard into second base, puts the pressure on Sanchez. Sliding in hard, not able to handle the ball. You see Lenny diving back, make sure he stays on the bag. So the Phillies catch a break here. First 2 runners aboard, and we're talking about needing something to break out of this offensive funk that the Phillies have been in. This is a good opportunity right now. A mistake by the opposition.
And Jeffries doubled to drive in a run his first time up. Hard to say whether that was a double play ball or not. It probably could have been, but certainly they were going to get the out at second. That's a strike. 1-1 on Jeffries. Last 5 games hitting at .538, so he's brought the average up to .272 right now.
I think even more impressive than the average is the fact that Jeffries has now been going to the plate and hitting the ball hard pretty consistently. At the beginning of the year, even the base hits that he was getting were not the real sharp Greg Jeffrey hits that we were used to seeing, but the ones in recent days have been those good hard line drives that ring off of Jeffrey's bat.
Good eye to take that pitch. 2-1 on Greg. Nobody out here. Could have been bases empty, 2 out, but it's 2 on with nobody out. So that's only 1 error, but in a way it's like 2. Big rip. 2-2 on Jeffries. Wilkins took the brunt of that one. He'll readjust, regroup. Dykstra is at second base.
He's the smaller one of the 2.
Yes. And Duncan's over at first base. Nobody else in that picture. Foul. Now here's a pitch count, and that does not include his throws to first base.
In the bottom of the 3rd inning, that's with nobody out. Even if you get through 3 innings and 15 pitches an inning, that's 45. So pretty lofty count for Traxel at this part of the ball game.
Bad handle, pop foul. Is that the 15 would be considered good?
Yeah, I think you would like your pitchers to average about 12 to 15 pitches an inning. Hey, you figure what, 15 pitches, 30 every 2 innings, so in 8 innings that's 120 pitches. That's even there is a little bit lofty. You'd like to keep it below that, but 15 in an inning is not a bad inning.
Fergie Jenkins behind Riggleman, pitching coach we've been talking about. Jeffries, base hit. Dykstra will hold at third base. Sosa fires a bullet back to the infield. The bases are loaded, nobody out, and Jeffries is 2 for 2.
Now this is a pitch that Jeffries was having a lot of trouble with early. The ball off speed down away from him, but he's able to stay with it this time and line it into right field with nobody out. And Sosa with the ball in his hands. Larry Boas tells Lenny Dykstra, we're just going to stay right here. Got the bases loaded. Let's turn this over to Dave Hollins and see if he can put a charge in one.
Traxel won the Hollins matchup last time, striking him out, his only case so far. Here's a chance for the Phillies not only to break this tie, but to have a big inning. We're 1-1 in the bottom of the 3rd, but potential for all kinds of good things. Breaking ball misses, ball 1. As we know, Traxel will have to get the ball over the plate. Hollins does not swing at bad pitches. 2 career grand slams, last one in '92. That's a strike. 1-1. Todd Pratt walking down to the bullpen.
Mike Walker along with him.
Right-handed pitcher. Outside, 2 balls, 1 strike. he got a good look at that or not. He appeared to feel for it with that swing.
That ball was up and tailed away from him a little bit. I think you're exactly right. He was reaching a little bit for that ball. It was not a really aggressive type swing.
2-2 on Dave. Hard hit, scooped up by Grace. There's one, and that's all they get. Run scores, 2-1 Phillies. Hollins with an RBI, fielder's choice.
Hollins does hit this one on the button. Talked about Mark Grace, goes easily to the hole and picks it. Force play at second base for Dunston. Dunston looks to first base, but Traxel was not covering. Probably wouldn't have thrown the ball anyway in that situation. Too much of a chance of throwing it away and allowing the Phillies to have the second run on the board. So give Hollins the fielder's choice, an RBI, and give Phillies a 2-1 lead.
And give Charlie Hayes a chance here. Charlie 0 for 1, ground ball to third. He's got runners at first and third with one out. Traxel going to work from the stretch. Check swing and a strike.
Duncan at third. Hollins at first. Nice job there by Rick Wilkins to keep that ball in the dirt in front of him. Duncan over third, looking for any opportunity to get across the plate. One to the backstop would work.
We had that shot of Walker heading down to the bullpen with Pratt, but he has not gotten up. Bullpen is still quiet. A little too early when a guy is considered your ace, which Traxel is at this point, to be thinking about taking him out of a ball game in the third inning. And a tough bit of travel for the Cubs. They will be playing in 3 cities in 3 days. They were at Wrigley Field yesterday, and tomorrow they will be at Joe Robbie Stadium.
Taking a roundabout way to get there.
Yes. You know who really has it tough on days like this, and I really sympathize with them, are the clubhouse guys. Down there talking with Yosh Kawana this morning. I mean, and Yosh, of course, has been around a while.
He knows all the tricks there are to know. Yeah, you come into town for one day. You've got to load and unload the luggage, load and unload the equipment, make sure the buses are ready, all that other stuff. I mean, it's crazy. It's a nightmare for the traveling secretaries and for the equipment managers. One-day stands.
Out of play down the right side. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Charlie. Phillies have a 2-1 lead. We are in the third. Phillies have runners at first and third. Duncan is the runner at third with Dave Hollins over at first. Back past the mound, Sanchez shovels for 1. Safe! Phillies get a run. It's 3-1 Phillies as Hayes beats the relay at first.
Good hustle by Charlie Hayes. This ball fairly well hit towards second base. See right here, he has to extend to get it there. Catches a bit of the mound and slows it down just a little bit. Good feed by Sanchez to Dunston. Dunston with a good strong arm. Charlie Hayes in a tie at first base. Gets the call. See right here, if you hesitate at all, you're not going to make it. But Charlie Hayes comes out of the box, head down, looks for nothing but the first base bag, goes hard all the way, and just does beat the play.
Wow.
Good hustle and puts another point on the board for the Phils. Jim Riggleman didn't agree with that call. He went out and had a quick discussion with Rich Rieker. first base umpire, but he's now satisfied and heading back to the Cubs bench. So hustle by Charlie Hayes gives the Phils the second run of the inning.
Riggleman probably still not satisfied, but here's Varsho to bat for the Phillies. Gary 0 for 1, ground ball to first. Charlie Hayes, the Phillies leader in RBIs, just picked up his 22nd on that ground ball. 3-1 Phillies. So the Phillies have made him pay for that error. Duncan reached on that error. He has scored. Varsho hits it right to Grace. It's a line drive out for the third out of the inning. But the Phillies pick up 2 runs in the inning. They do so on 2 hits, 1 error, and 1 man left on base. 3-1 Phils.
Houston's made some big changes, but you'll still see their big stars like Bagwell, Biggio, and Drabek when the Astros play the Phillies Tuesday, June 13th, Wednesday, June 14th, and Thursday, June 15th, all at 7:35. Relive memories of the past. Then, watch the hitmen of the present try to put a hurt on Houston in this special silver season. What a season. What a show. Call 463-1000. That's 463-1000.
Next is Lady. Exceptional sheen. Oh, very good color. Prince. Hands. Oh, such stateliness, such majesty.
Larry. Larry.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
The best of show? Mort.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Phillies and may not be retransmitted, reproduced in any form without the express written consent of the Phillies. Phillies lead the game by a 3-1 score, and we've got lots of Phillies action for you in June on Prism. The entire Houston series, June 13th through 15th, will be on. Then the Florida game on June 17th will be presented. The Cincinnati game on the 27th and 28th, both on. And on June 30th against the Atlanta Braves. Fourth inning baseball here at Veterans Stadium, and the slick fielding Mark Grace. We've already seen him come into play as a first sacker today, Teak. Done a nice job out there.
Yeah, he does. Like I say, not only does a good job, but he's steady at it. It's day in and day out. Mark Grace, one of those guys you just pencil in the lineup, and you know exactly what you're going to get from the opening day of the season to the last day.
It's hard to believe that he really was on the market this past off-season. In fact, their re-signing of him didn't occur until after the strike was concluded. White Sox made a pretty good pitch for him, but he wanted to stay with the Cubs. Mike Williams dropped the ball. That's embarrassing for a pitcher.
That must have been a bad throw. Pitchers, being the best athletes on the field, would never, ever make a mistake like that.
The best athletes on the field. We're hearing this, fans, for the first time. This is exclusive material you're getting today.
And only slightly biased.
And more than slightly kidding. That tongue is firmly planted in cheek. 2-2 on Grace. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, indeed. A souvenir, and Grace has hit his 6th home run. The Phillies now lead at 3-2. And in typical Cubs fashion, the ball was thrown right back on the field. There it is. Bleacher bums in Philadelphia.
2-2 count. Mark Grace gets a fastball up in the strike zone. We saw this before with Sanchez. Tried to tail it away from him. Didn't get it out there, and Grace got all of it. Full extension. Talked earlier, Grace not the power hitter that you would like to have at first base, but now has 6 home runs on the season and has kind of turned up those power numbers a little bit this year. Might have made a little bit more of a conscious attempt to pull the ball and hit the ball out of the ballpark.
I think some fans would believe that players come to the majors as full-blown hitters, pitchers, fielders, whatever they are, and that they don't learn anything more after that. That's not true. There's a lot to be learned after you get here. Wilkins puts a charge in it, but Varsho is there. Wilkins sends Varsho right back to the padding. First out.
Well, you're absolutely true, Andy, about the major league players. The ability for a player like Grace to stay around as long as he has and, to do what he does is the ability to adjust. If you can't adjust, you're going to have a very short career. Mark has been around for a while now. He can make adjustments to what pitchers do to him. He can adjust his style. He understands his game enough to be able to make changes to make himself a more productive player. And players don't just get to the big leagues at a certain ability level and stay there forever. The good ones are going to continue to improve all the way through their entire career and make adjustments, make themselves better players.
Here's Sean Dunston. By the way, after that loud out, Lenny Webster went out and visited with Mike Williams.
The loud out and the even louder home run.
Dunston flied out to right field in his first at bat. 1-1 on Sean. Dunston, an interesting story, taken in the draft the same year that Dwight Gooden was picked, and Dunston was the #1 player. That was the '82 draft. And the Mets took Doc Gooden 5th in that draft. The other 3 guys were kind of unknown. Toronto took Augie Schmidt, a shortstop. San Diego took Jimmy Jones, a pitcher who had some success in the majors, and Minnesota took a left-handed pitcher, Brian Olkers, as the 4th player drafted in '82. But people have often said, how could the Cubs take Dunston ahead of Gooden? And they say, well, he's got a better arm. This guy can throw.
He has got a cannon.
Mariano's got it. Can he get him? No. Base hit. Infield single for Sean Dunston.
Nice play by Mariano. See right here, Dunston hits the ball sharply up the middle. Duncan has to retreat into the outfield to be able to cut the ball off. By the time he gets out there, his momentum just pulling him too far towards center field. Can't get anything on the throw to first base. Makes an accurate throw, but when you're falling away like that, you cannot get much on it. He just tried to flip it over there and hope, but no luck. Dunston moves too well down the line.
That'll bring to the plate Howard Johnson with Dunston at first and 1 out. Phillies up by a run. Hojo nailed a line drive first time up, but he hit it right to Gary Varsho. Way outside a ball. So Mike Williams now hits the 50 pitch total. Good ratio, 32 strikes. And so he has actually economized more than Traxel has at this point.
Yeah, Traxel was at 50 in the 3rd inning. Mike now into the 4th inning with him. So, and he's also had fewer of those.
By a bunch. Of course, we kid about that counting as a pitch on your arm. That doesn't hurt to throw the ball to first, does it, Teague?
No, not really. It's a little flip throw, but
I mean, if you were really going to count pitches, you'd start counting those warm-up pitches.
Yeah, the warm-ups between innings are even worse for relievers. The warm-up pitches in the bullpen.
Right.
On the days that you don't get into a ball game and say, well, you haven't pitched for 5 days. Yeah, but you've warmed up 15 times in those 5 days.
Yeah, Jim Fregosi doesn't consider it a day off for his bullpen unless he doesn't get them up. Get them up, and they don't get in a ball game. I mean, it's really like working.
Yeah,
actually.
You're down there throwing just as hard in the bullpen as you are in the game. Another throw over to first. Dunston does not have a stolen base this year. One attempt was caught. There was a day before he hurt his back, though, that he was a real threat to steal bases. But I think, the beating, not so much the running beating, but the beating of sliding and jamming into the bag on his back, I think, is what has slowed down his running game. Big swing by Johnson.
Dunston stole 30 bases for the Cubs back in 1988, and he had a 25 stolen base year in 1990. But 92 and 93 were virtual years off for Sean because of those back problems. Time call. Looked like maybe Hojo got something in his eye.
Had all kinds of things moving on at one time. Mike Williams ready to throw. Dunston was bluffing as if he was going to run. Johnson asks for time and gets it just as all that started. So re-rack them and start all over again.
Phillies are leading the game 3-2 here in the fourth. All of a sudden Mike Williams is trying to catch up. Been really concerned with Dunston for a guy who doesn't have any stolen bases, but the reason he threw over there was because on that last time that you were calling, it looked like Dunston was going to go.
Yeah, Dunston was at least faking a bluff, if not going. Shortened the lead a little bit this time.
Three and one now on the hitter.
These are the types of situations where Johnson can still be dangerous. He likes the fastball. He's in a fastball count. Got a runner on first base, so there's a hole open on the right side. He's going to try to pull it probably. He likes to pull the ball. So you have to be a little careful with Johnson right here. Or you can pick off Dunston.
Dunston's saying, don't you know I have a bad back? You want me crawling around in the dirt down here?
I got a bad back. I'm 0 for 1 stealing bases, and you're throwing over here like crazy. Got the 1 foot out on the turf, though.
And there he goes. It's popped up. Got up under this one. Dykstra coming in, flicks the glasses down, and makes the catch for out number 2. Hojo got under it for sure.
Well, Johnson got the fastball that he was looking for. He got it in the middle of the plate right here. You see the fastball up in the strike zone. Johnson gets a good swing at it. Just fortunately for the Phillies, and Mike Williams got underneath the ball. You can see right there he's disgusted because that's exactly what he was looking for. Hit the bottom part of the ball and popped it up to center field.
Now the fleet left fielder, Scott Bullitt, grounded out to second in his first time up. He is sharing left field with a right-handed batter, Ozzie Timmons. Timmons has some power and probably someday will be a complete all-around player, but right now sharing left field. Again, Dunston with 1 foot beyond the cutout, so Williams chases him back. Cubs have out-hit the Phillies 5-3, but trail 3-2. Williams has not walked anybody. There goes Dunston again, and this one's fouled back. And Dunston went all the way into second with a slide. Nobody told him. He's getting his work in out there, Teak.
See right here, Dunston with that 1 foot out on the turf again. Straight steal, never looks back. Not a hit and run. Slides into second base hard. No throw, foul ball. Return to first.
When you get there and you don't see any middle infielders bothering to cover, you know that things are not going your way.
Difference between the straight steal, of course, and the hit and run is on the hit and run play. The runner on first will take a look back at the hitter because he knows he's going to be swinging. Make sure he doesn't, hit a line drive right at somebody or pop the ball up while you're still running. Straight steal, head down, go straight to the bag.
Ball and 2 strikes on Scott Bullitt, who came out of the Pittsburgh Pirate organization. He had several cups of coffee. In fact, he made his major league debut here at Veterans Stadium, playing in center field in a game in 1991, September 15th, his first major league start. Last year, he stole 27 bases at Iowa AAA ball. Oh, almost got McSherry. I don't know how that missed John. And this ball gets through to the outfield. It's going to score Dunston with the tying run. Here goes Bullitt for third. He's got a stand-up triple, and we've got a tie ball game. John McSherry could have helped the Phillies if he hadn't moved so quickly.
Phillies defensively are playing Bullitt around, shading him toward left field. Just a line drive, a vicious line drive right up the middle. Bullitt gets a fastball out away from him and just over the back of John McSherry, just able to get out of the way by the time Lenny runs it down on the right field side of center field. Bullitt's into third base with the triple. Dunston comes all the way around from first to score and tie the ball game again. So Mike Williams, given a 2-run lead in the bottom of the third, gives them right back to the Cubs here in the top of the fourth and still in jeopardy.
Traxel takes ball one. He struck out Traxel first time up. That's the third triple this year for the Fleet Bullitt, who never hesitated a lick at second base. And when you got to third, you could see why he went in there standing.
Well, you can run like that. You don't hesitate at all.
Traxel, a .250 hitter, 3 hits and 12 at-bats. So we have a game here where both teams have given up the lead today. Cubs got out front 1-0, and the Phillies went on to take a 3-1 lead, and now we're back flat even again. Traxel didn't look too good on that. He looks like he's heading for the dugout. Looks like he didn't want any more of this. It's enough. You don't usually see a pitcher walk that far away from the plate.
That's known as trying to regroup. That was a Bale and Whale swing that didn't come out exactly the way he had it pictured.
There it is again. Second strikeout for Williams. You're watching Phillies baseball on Sports Channel. 2 runs, 3 hits, 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the fourth in a 3-3 tie.
What do you want to do? Kill them all?
I'll be your family, Wyatt. I'll give you children. We'll make our own place where no one will find us. And I won't die on you.
I'm dead anyway. So if you want to go out in a blaze of glory, I'm with you.
The closer you keep your family, the better. Nothing counts so much as blood. The rest are just strangers.
'14 and under receive a full color set of Phillies action photo trading cards, compliments of Mellon PSFS, when the Phillies play the Florida Marlins Saturday, June 17th at 7:05. Brand new thrills, silver season memories. Call 463-1000.
Hey, one oil says it's got special molecules. Another says it's for little engines. One even makes it sound like oil can think. Come on. What's the square root of 4? See, I use Kendall oil because it lets my engine do the talking. So next time you change oil, be smart. Use Kendall. Kendall Motor Oil. Hey, man, bye.
Phillies with their baseball day camps for boys and girls 7 to 14 years of age, 17 locations. As well, you get a once-in-a-lifetime chance to enjoy a day of fun here at the Vet. 4 different camp sessions. The weeks of June 26th, July 17th, and 24th, and again August 7th. Call 610-446-3636 for the information. Well, we've got a ball game that's knotted up once again now, 3-3. And the Phillies still with just 3 hits in the game off Traxel, but an error really hurt Chicago. Webster to try to trigger another inning. He did draw a 1-out walk, his only time at the plate today. Bottom third of the order. Teak, we've often talked about that. A pitcher looks at the bottom third of the order and say, well, this is great. I'll get him 1, 2, 3. But if he doesn't, that's when some big innings sometimes occur, because then you've got the top coming up. But Sean Dunston makes this play, and we've got 1 out.
You're exactly right. You know, you look at an inning, and if you start relaxing and cruising instead of saying, okay, I got the bottom up, I'm going to take advantage of them, knock them out real quick, and, you know, save the top of the order for the next inning. If you start thinking, well, I'll just kind of cruise through this, when all of a sudden things can collapse on you, and then you're in a peck of trouble because you've got the top of the order there.
Traxel will bear down then and try to get Stocker. Stocker hit the ball to Grace first time up, a 3-6 force. Two days, and we've been visited by the top executives here at Sports Channel. Dennis Patton was in the booth last night. We've got Bobby Ayers paying a visit here today. I think they're trying to keep an eye on us, or what?
Is this an evaluation period?
I guess.
You better straighten up a little bit, huh?
Or maybe they just like a day at the ballpark, and you can't blame them for that. We had...
What a gorgeous one we got today.
Oh, yeah. And last night was a great night for a game when Dennis was here. 2-1 the count.
Well, we always promote these things. It's a great afternoon to take some time off of work and come to the ballpark and enjoy it. Well,
our own executives are listening.
Today's the picture-perfect example. That's right. We believe in truth in advertising.
Stocker has a real good eye. Two balls and 2 strikes on Stocker. And a full count for him. We mentioned that he has walked in 5 straight games. Traxel making his 7th start today. He has a complete game against San Francisco, the only one on the Cubs staff this year. Base hit for Stocker. Line single to left field for Stocker, the Phillies' 4th hit. So Mike Williams can come up to bunt.
3-2 count. Stocker doesn't try to do a whole lot with this ball. The ball tails down and away from him. If you try to pull that ball, it's a ground ball to second. But if you stay with it, you can line it into left field. And Stocker does a nice job of staying with that ball, getting himself on board and giving Mike Williams a chance now to lay down a bunt and move him along, get him in scoring position for Lenny Dykstra.
Mike has sacrificed once successfully. Had the suicide squeeze bunt. That's a beauty. Traxel looks down at second, but his play is at first. So Mike Williams, one of the best Phillies bunting pitchers.
And a nice job of placement by Mike. He gets the ball on the right side of the field. Howard Johnson at third base was well in, cheating in, so you can't really bunt the ball that way. Hojo's going to be in a good position to make a throw to second, so you've got the first baseman Grace has to hold the bag. He's staying back. Of course, Traxel has to deliver the ball to the plate first before he can move, so you bunt the ball to the right side to give yourself an opportunity to get the man in scoring position. Mission accomplished, and now second part of the mission, now that he's in scoring position, see if Lenny can drive him in.
Dykstra broke his 0 for 16 with a sharply hit ball to right field last time up. He walked first time around. That missed, ball 1. Lenny at 276. Phillies and the Cubs in a 3-3 4th inning tie. Hard hit, but right at Sanchez. He makes the play over to first, and down go the Phillies here in the 4th. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 left, and through 4, it's 3-3.
Here's a look at this week's Mellon PSFS Financial Scoreboard, featuring our best loan rates. Call 1-800-MELLON-2. Mellon PSFS, the official bank of the Phillies.
The Bud Light Amateur Beach Challenge. They're lean. They're mean.
Oh, they're killing us. Yeah. How about 2 out of 3?
the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down,
What's wrong with her?
make it a Bud Light.
For cars that can benefit from higher octane, Texaco Clean System 3 Power Plus and Power Premium were formulated to clean your engine's intake valves, fuel injectors, and combustion chambers while you're driving, to give you smooth starts and sure acceleration. Just give us 5 tanks, and we think Power Plus and Power Premium will make quite an impression on you.
Add more life to your car. Take it to the star.
Phillies are back here at Veterans Stadium to play the Astros and the Marlins beginning on Tuesday, June 13th for a 3-game series against those Stros. And then the Marlins are in for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And Sunday the 18th is going to be Texaco Men's Cap Day. Plenty of good names on tap coming up in those series, so hope you'll be on hand. The number to call for your tickets, 463-1000. 3-3 now. We move to the 5th inning here at Veterans Stadium. Brian McRae leads it off for the Cubs. He has doubled and grounded out, has scored one of the Chicago runs. Talking about the draft, we mentioned earlier that the Phillies took center fielder Reggie Taylor with their first pick today. The Phillies also had a supplemental pick between the first and second rounds. They got that when the Cardinals signed Danny Jackson. And the Phillies chose an 18-year-old right-handed pitcher named David Coggin from Upland High School in California. Charlie Hayes makes the play in foul ground, and McRae is retired. According to Mike Arbuckle, the Phillies scouting director, talking about Coggin, he is an excellent physical projection, very good athlete who can be a quality major league power pitcher.
Also scouted by the skipper Jr., Jim Fregosi Jr., the scout who recommended that the Phillies draft Coggin. So guess if it's not a good choice and doesn't pan out, you got to answer to Dad, huh?
Jim will have something to say about that, right?
Well, he's going to have something to say no matter what. That's a given.
Sanchez 2 for 2 in the ball game. Mike Williams gets a couple of breaking balls by him, 0-2.
Both of those base hits have come on the high fastball. So Mike able to get the breaking ball over early for Sanchez.
Here's what Mike Arbuckle had to say about the center fielder Reggie Taylor. He said all-star caliber. Charlie Hayes with a fielding play this time, and he makes it. There are 2 outs. Talking about Taylor, all-star caliber at major league level, if all comes together, can be a 5-tool player. Will be a slow starter with the bat in pro ball due to competition level, but can be a first division player one day.
We're talking about 5-tool players. We were talking last night about Raul Mondesi with the Dodgers. That's what you're talking about, a 5-tool player. Can hit for average, hit for power, run, throw. That's 4.
Catch a ball?
Catch the ball.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good defense.
Sammy Sosa.
I knew there was 5. I just lost track there somewhere.
This, by the way, is coming from a man who played left field.
That's right.
For the Pittsburgh Pirates and caught the final ball of a game and then didn't know what to do.
It wasn't the only time I didn't know what to do. Just one of many.
Back through the middle and a base hit for the dangerous Sammy Sosa. Hit number 7 for the Cubs. Tekin, is it true that your teammates who normally would run to the mound and congratulate the pitcher were out there congratulating the left fielder? I mean,
yeah, actually the game was in Candlestick Park in '79, and Grant Jackson had come in to pitch relief. I was put in left field, stationed there because Dwight Evans was hitting, and of course he never hit the ball to left field in his life. Well, this day he did. I catch a fly ball to end the game, and normally everybody parades out and shakes the pitcher's hand. Everybody ran to left field, and Grant Jackson standing on the mound with nobody to talk to.
Ah, that's a good story.
One of those strange moments in the game of baseball.
There goes the runner. Here's Webster's throw way off line. Stolen base for Sosa, his 7th. Sosa has not been caught.
Sosa with a good jump at first base. Again, we didn't see it right there. He doesn't look back, though. It's a steal. Webster's throw just kind of looked like he almost cut that ball a little bit. A little bit of a slider he threw to second base, just took off, and Stalker has to leave the bag, make the catch. So Sosa now 7 for 7. So with 2 outs, gets himself into scoring position. Doesn't matter.
Bounces one out here to Duncan. And he is out to end the inning. You're watching Phillies baseball on Sports Channel. No runs, a hit, one man left on base. We're headed for the bottom of the fifth and a 3-3 tie.
You called me something.
Nothing.
I believe he called you a gutless coward.
No, I did not say that. I was teasing.
Teasing?
I don't like being teased.
See, there you go, being unlikable again.
A woman's suffering's not a funny thing.
There are exceptions.
Everybody's got a gun. Stop playing around and stop those horses.
Whoa, Ollie, whoa.
However did you escape from those hostiles? Oh. My, such splendid similarities. Now, from the looks of things, I'll have the lady come in with some more hot water.
You work hard for your money. We work hard to help you keep more of it. You know, what you pay for a kilowatt hour of electricity from Pico Energy today is about the same as you paid 5 years ago. And you can rest assured that even though taxes or fuel costs may sometimes affect your bill, we're doing all we can to keep base rates right where they are until at least the year 2000. And that's a promise from all of us.
Phillies baseball is brought to you by Bell Atlantic Mobile. A mobile phone is only as good as the system it's on. Choose Bell Atlantic Mobile. By your Quality Plus Ford dealers, home of 5 of the top 10 selling cars and trucks. And by your Nationwide insurance dealers. Your Nationwide representative in New Hope is Alfred Savio.
Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, 3-3 tie, bottom of the fifth. Mariano Duncan to lead it off. Now, Mariano is 0 for 2 today, but it's a pretty productive 0 for 2 as things go, because he's been on base twice, once on a force out, once on an error, and both times he scored. So he's got 2 of the Phillies' 3 runs. Dykstra scored the other one. Fouled away. Duncan hitting at 306 as he stands in. Mariano has been a good hitter in the day games. He's 5 for 10, or at least he was coming into this ball game in the day games. And the Phillies have won 9 of the 10 games he has started, so he's kind of a good luck charm for the Phillies. Hits out of the hole here, no balls and 2 strikes. Phillies open a series at Candlestick Park tomorrow night. See all those shirt sleeves in the dugout now? You won't see them tomorrow night.
You'll see jackets.
Parkas.
All the warm or cold weather gear will be broke out tomorrow. Go to California and break out your cold weather gear.
While they have improved the dugout at Candlestick Park, one thing they can't do is make it any closer to the clubhouse. The clubhouse is in right field, and the dugout is along the third baseline. Now, unless they burrow a hole underneath the field, which they haven't to my knowledge, it's tough to get there.
It's almost one of those you can't get there from here situations.
That's right. Base hit for Duncan. You know, kidding about Candlestick Park, you get thrown out of a game there. There's no way to hide, is there?
No. Got to walk in front of the whole world. Duncan likes the fastball, lights it up, slams it into center field. McRae over to cut it off. Shading Duncan just a little bit toward the right field side, goes over and cuts it off.
Mariano has reached for the 3rd straight time, and here's Jeffries. He's 2 for 2. Greg has double to knock in a run and single.
Phillies hoping he can score for the 3rd straight time.
A strike. The Phillies have Kurt Schilling, their ace, to open that series tomorrow night at the Stick, and he'll be going against Mark Portugal. Traxel back to his tricks now, starting the inning. Duncan, by the way, has not attempted a steal this year.
He's got that 1 foot out on the turf. Usually an indicator you've got that good aggressive lead. Sometimes base runners will fool you a little bit as a pitcher. They'll go out there and put that foot out on the turf, but it's really a one-way lead. The first move they got is coming back to first base.
And talking about the stolen base situation, Wilkins is a pretty good catcher, and he has thrown out 10 of 32 would-be stealers. That's 31%. Fouled away. Well, Jeffries will be going back home. Not where he lives, but where he came from, that area just south of San Francisco. He and Jim Fregosi, as you know, and Barry Bonds, too, from that same high school. Pitches high, a ball. 2-2.
3 guys that can play a little bit. Speaking of guys that can play a little bit, Larry Boa down at third base, flashing the signs.
This one has a chance to be caught. Dunstan's got a long way to go, though, but he's there. That ball was fair, and Dunstan went a long way down the left field line to catch it. Duncan retreats to first. Oh, we saw Stocker make a similar play earlier.
Fastball up and out over the plate where Jeffries likes it. Just got underneath it. That's basically the same pitch that he hit for a double in the first inning.
Jeffries can be tough on his bat, can't he?
Can be tough on himself. He expects to get a hit every time he goes to the plate.
And now Hollins. Dave today has struck out and grounded out. His ground out was a force out that knocked in a run. Traxel has not had an easy time of it. He's given up hits in every inning except the second, and there he walked a batter. So he's done a lot of pitching out of the stretch today. Strike. You're right, he is tough on himself. He has a reputation of being tough on himself, and he says that now that he's married, he's settled down a lot. That it's not as, but I would hate to have seen him on an everyday basis before. Duncan out to that lead beyond the cutout again. See where his right foot is? But you're right, it was one way at that point. Wilkins with a snap throw. You got to look out for that. When the catcher throws behind the left-handed batter and snaps it down there, look out.
And Wilkins likes to throw the ball. You mentioned he has a good arm. Duncan makes the initial move and has to retreat back, goes to the back corner of the bag, just gets back in before the tag by Grace. That left-handed hitter makes it a little more difficult for the runner, because when you take that secondary lead, the hitter is actually between you and the catcher. You can't see what he's doing.
The catcher, you can't see what the catcher's doing.
You can't see what the catcher's doing.
Breaking ball for a strike.
You have to be alert. And Wilkins has the reputation that he likes to throw to the bases.
He's down there practicing it, too.
Always practice what you do well.
There goes Duncan. Swing and a miss. Here's Wilkins' throw. He is out. So we have a strikeout double play to end the inning. No runs, one hit, nobody left on base. And after 5 innings, it's a 3-3 tie.
3 special silver season promotions and 3 big games coming up against the Marlins. Friday, June 16th at 7:35. Come early with your bags packed and you can win a Rosenbluth instant vacation. Saturday the 17th at 7:05. It's a Phillies card set for kids 14 and under, courtesy of Mellon PSFS. Sunday, June 18th at 1:35. A relaxed fit baseball cap with a classic logo for men 15 and over, courtesy of Texaco. Call 463-1000.
Dad?
Yeah?
There's something I want to tell you.
What is it, son?
Well, Dad, you're my dad. And I love you, man.
You're not getting my Bud Light, Johnny. For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
Ray, forget it, Johnny.
A special allocation of America's best-selling car, Ford Taurus, means now's the best time to save big on a huge selection. Now get 6.9 APR financing or up to $1,500 cash back from Ford. And Taurus comes loaded with dual airbags, V6 power, and air conditioning, plus up to $1,500 cash back. But hurry, it all ends June 3rd, and so does your chance to get $1,500 cash back or 6.9 financing. So get to your Quality Plus Ford dealer and get the best Taurus deal of the year.
Well, now's your chance to vote for the 95 All-Star Game players. Texaco All-Star Game voting ballots are available here at the Vet through the 29th of this month. This year's All-Star Game is July 11th in Texas. So let's make sure we have a nice contingent of Phillies at that game. Texaco All-Star Game voting now through the 29th. Ballots only here at the Vet. Wilkins just threw out a runner at second base, so he stands in now as a hitter. He sent Varsho to the wall to catch a drive last time up, and here's a play for Jeffries. Back, and he is on the warning track by the time he catches that one. Wilkins is 0 for 3, but 2 of them carried to the track. Next up, Sean Dunston. Cubs shortstop 1 for 2 today with a run scored. Got himself an infield single in the 4th inning and then scored on Bullett's triple. Talking earlier, but since this is draft day, we're talking about the draft, and he was the first player chosen in '82, the year that Dwight Gooden was picked 5th. And as it turns out, he's still in baseball and Gooden isn't, so I guess they knew what they were doing. How about Darryl Strawberry now wants to play for the New York Yankees?
Amazing.
Wants to help Georgia.
Yeah.
Charlie Hayes takes a step back, but then makes his usual perfect throw. Charlie puts it right on the letters when he throws that ball to first base. 2 outs. 75 pitches at this point for Mike, and a fine ratio.
And when you keep those strikes up in a 2-to-1 ratio over the balls, you're doing a pretty good job of throwing the ball over the plate. Normally you're ahead in the count when you do that, and conserving energy on a warm afternoon.
In steps Howard Johnson. Nothing out of 2 today. He's lined to right and flied to center. Hojo a chance to play because Buechele's sidelined with a bum ankle.
Only once this afternoon has either team gone down in order. That's the Cubs in the 2nd inning. Mike Williams with a chance here with 2 outs to set the Cubs down for the 2nd time of the afternoon. 1, 2, 3.
His 1-1 pitch to Hojo. Pop foul back out of play. Williams has really done a nice job in that game Saturday against San Diego. He went 6+ innings and was touched for just 2 runs. Today responsible for 3. In that game against San Diego, he walked 2. He hasn't walked anybody today. Got him. Strikeout number 3 for Mike Williams. You're watching Phillies baseball on Sports Channel. Cubs do indeed go in turn in the 6th. We go to the bottom half, a 3-3 tie.
The Phillies and Sports Channel, the great home team combination. Follow the Phils as they battle for the National League crown. Tune into Sports Channel for exclusive Phillies coverage, games you won't find anywhere else on TV. And watch Dalton, Dykstra, Hollins, and company make their pitch for baseball supremacy. It's Baseball 95 Phillies style, right here on Sports Channel. The Phils battle the New York Mets, live from Shea Stadium, Wednesday at 7:30, exclusively on Sports Channel.
Al, ball player at 9 o'clock.
Oh, well, rookie. First time at bat.
How do you play the daily number?
Rookie Al, you called it!
Al, big Al. Al the man. Al the king. Let's see. Box it. I'm feeling lucky tonight.
Oh, lucky. He considers himself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
The Pennsylvania Lottery's daily number. Play it pair, box, or play it straight.
Whether you're negotiating a deal,
Okay, if you're good, I'll read you a story.
Come on, make it 2.
calling in an order,
Skip the strawberry. We want chocolate.
scheduling a meeting,
I'm at the Big Artichokes.
or just checking in with the boss,
Honey, is it okay if I stay a half hour?
the most important thing is that the call goes through. A mobile phone is only as good as the system it's on. Choose Bell Atlantic Mobile, the heart of communication. Call 1-800-255-BELL.
Watch This Week in NASCAR every Thursday night at 8 o'clock on Sports Channel. Tonight's show will be live from Dover, Delaware, and you can call host Eli Gold with your NASCAR comments and questions. We have a nice crowd here for this business person special, which was an add-on game, so not in the season ticket plans of any type. It's a 3-3 ball game. We're heading to the bottom of the 6th. Charlie Hayes to lead it off today. Charlie has grounded out twice. One of them knocked in a run. It was a fielder's choice. Into the press box, and for a change, not out of the press box. It stayed in there. Was it caught?
They've captured it.
They trapped it. Ball and a strike on Charlie. Third baseman Howard Johnson hugging the line for Charlie Hayes. A bouncer for Dunston. Makes that Ozzie Smith type of release. Charlie Hayes is out. Well, the easiest and most convenient way to order your Phillies tickets by phone. Just call 463-1000. Order your tickets by phone. They can be left for pickup at the vet, or even easier, have them mailed. Plus, this is your number to order Phillies merchandise, too. Hats, shirts, publications, and much more. The number to know for all your Phillies needs, 463-1000. Here's Gary Varsho. Nothing out of 2 today. Gary has grounded to first and lined to first. He tries to bunt his way on, gets it past the mound. He's got a base hit. A perfect bunt for Varsho because he got it past the mound.
The idea on that bunt is to get the ball past the pitcher and to the second baseman. If you bunt it hard enough and wide enough, you see Varsho going up and attacking the ball on the bunt, gets it by Traxel. The first baseman can't get over that far. That means the second baseman, who's playing back deep with nobody on, has a long way to go to get to it. Varsho puts it in the perfect spot and gets himself a bunt base hit.
Not the first time we've seen him do that. He's a good bunter. Here's Lenny Webster. Lenny today has walked and grounded out. Let's see if that triggers something here. The Phillies picked up their 6th hit on that play. They have have only one extra base hit. That was Jeffrey's double. Strike one on Webster. Webster hitting at 200. The Phillies' backup catcher of last year is in the other dugout, as we mentioned earlier. Todd Pratt is here. Well, maybe he's not in the dugout. I guess he's down in the bullpen by now.
Took that trip to the bullpen. Saw him earlier heading down there.
Diving back is Varsho. After making a great bunt like that, you wouldn't want to get picked. Traxel has been a tough customer today. Last year he led all Major League rookie pitchers in wins and in innings pitched. He was a 9-game winner last year. Pitched 146 innings in a strike-shortened year. Oh, they thought something was on, but no.
Varsho, who like Duncan has not attempted a stolen base this year. We saw Dunk go earlier, so I think, well, if one guy that hasn't run takes off, maybe the second one will. Gus Strong.
Their infield is set to turn a double play.
See Dunston at short, Sanchez at second, shortened up just a bit and over toward the bag. Normal double play position.
That's a strike, and it's 1-2 now on Webster. Left-handed pitcher Larry Wimberly of the Piedmont Phillies and infielder outfielder Rob Grable of the Reading Phillies are the Phil's minor league pitcher and player of the month. Wimberly was 4-0 last month with a 1.34 earned run average in 5 starts, and Grable hit .339 in 29 games for the Reading Phillies. He led all Phillies minor leaguers in runs with 25 and hits with 38 and with homers 5 during the month of May. Varsho's at first, trying to move him along. Phillies have kept the pressure on. Hits in every inning except the second, and there they had a walk. So they've caused Traxel to make a ton of pitches. We mentioned he's the only Cub pitcher to go the route in a ball game this year. Unlikely he would do so today, but the Phillies saw Ramon Martinez hang in there and go 9 last night, and wound up as the winning pitcher. Really funny to be playing a day game here, following a night game and playing a different team. That really seems strange. Talking about Ramon Martinez, that seems like 1,000 years ago.
It was only one short night's sleep ago is what it was.
Inside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Varsho, not great speed. Well, this is quite an at-bat by Webster. He's been up there for 5 or 6 minutes now, hasn't he, T?
Fouling off a lot of pitches, keeping himself alive. It's difficult for a player like Webster, who basically plays once a week, to be able to get into a good groove and swing the bat with any kind of consistency. You can take all the batting practice you want to during the week, but there's nothing like seeing game action.
Speaking of action, Cubs are up in the bullpen. Cassian's up, and who's the right-hander?
It's Wendell, Turk Wendell.
Ground ball deep to the hole. Get the out there, and the ball hits the runner, but Grace is able to catch it. That ball deflected to first. I knew they weren't going to get the double play. And in fact, I was even surprised to see that there would be a relay.
Yeah, Sanchez had a little bit of trouble here. Dunston gets the ball short, Gets it over to second. Sanchez with a little bit of a problem here getting it out. Tries to throw it and hits
right
Varsho.
On the arm, huh?
Right on the forearm. See Varsho going hard into second base, slides, puts that arm up. You put the arm up to protect your face. The reason it's up there is if that ball doesn't catch part of the Varsho's arm, got a good chance of catching him in the coconut. So he gets his arm up. It does its job, but
looking at the arm too.
Have a little bit of a knot on there. But it's much better to have a little knot on your arm than it is on the middle of your forehead. Charlton will tell you that.
Won't he though? The batter is Stocker, 1 for 2 today. Singled his last time up there. Here's a ground ball to Sanchez. He'll make the play to first. And that does it. You're watching Phillies baseball on Sports Channel. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left on base. We're going to the 7th inning in a 3-3 tie.
Major League Baseball takes the field, bringing you the latest from the diamond. It's all hits, runs, and no errors as Drew presents Minute Jays. No helmets, no pads. Just a bunch of thunder from down under. Go. It's Australian rules football.
Men 15 and over get a relaxed fit baseball cap with a classic logo free, courtesy of Texaco, when the Phillies wind up the series with the Marlins Sunday, June 18th at 1:35. Good-looking team, good-looking cap. Call 463-1000.
With more shoulder room, more hip room, and more cargo room than a Ford Ranger or Chevy S10, you could say Dodge Dakota is the perfect size for a truck. And when you can get things like air, cast aluminum wheels, and more for as low as $11,286, you could also say this Dakota 4-cylinder is the perfect size truck for your budget. Dodge Dakota. At America's Truck Stop, your friendly Dodge dealer.
It's got a new cover, it's got a new name, but on the inside it's exactly the same. It's the real fine, genuine, more choices, gold mine, yellow pages from Bell Atlantic.
Presenting the genuine Bell Atlantic Yellow Pages. Same book, new name. 9 out of 10 use it. The genuine Bell Atlantic Yellow Pages.
Real fine, genuine, more choices, gold mine, yellow pages from Bell Atlantic. Same book, new name.
Nice day here at the ballpark. Fans enjoying the game so far. It's moving at a kind of a leisurely pace. Andy Musser with Kent DeColvey as we look over the crowd here at the Vet. Last time the Phillies will see this until the 13th of June when they return. Scott Bullitt has an RBI triple in the ball game in 2 at-bats. Not this time. Lazy fly for Jeffries.
Jeffries makes the play in left. We noticed earlier Lenny Dykstra with the flip down sunglasses in center field. Jeffries with the more standard model in left. He just got the regular sunglasses on. They're down all the time.
Jim Riggleman likes what his pitcher is doing, so Traxel stays in the ball game, though he has not been much of a threat at the plate today. Williams has struck him out twice.
There's Jeffries with his stylish sunglasses on in left. One thing about the flip downs, they're very efficient. They do a nice job, but they're not very stylish.
Sometimes the flip downs keep your cap on. You know, when you're
got the strap over the back of your cap.
Right. Foul ball. 0-2 on Traxel. Maybe Williams will be able to get him again now that he's got 2 strikes on him here. We're getting an early taste of summer here at the Vet today on the 1st of June. Boy, he puts a charge into this one, but Jeffries is there. Traxel does not strike out. He lines out for the 2nd out. Another business person special for you coming up on Thursday, June 29th, a 1:05 game, the 3rd of 5, midweek excuses to take the afternoon off. Have a great time out here. Compliments of Mellon PSFS. Always a fun day at the park, so make sure you make your plans now. Order your tickets easily by phone, 463-1000. Stop by the Phillies Center City ticket office at Mellon PSFS, Broad and Chestnut Streets. Brian McRae to hit. 1 for 3 today, 1st inning double. He doubled on the first pitch of the ball game. And then Sanchez knocked him in, and we thought, oh, it was going to be one of those kind of days. But Williams has settled down and given up just 2 more runs, and at one point the Phillies enjoyed a 3-1 lead in this game.
We talked at the top about Mike Williams just keeping the club in the game for 5 innings. He's done that very nicely. The one blip on the screen, I guess, was the 2 runs that he gave up in the top of the 4th inning when the Phillies had scored 2 in the bottom of the 3rd to go ahead by a couple. But other than that, he's been pretty steady all afternoon. I guess he has to be pleased with what Mike Williams has given him, and Jim Riggleman has to be very pleased with what Traxel has given him.
And talk about being right around the plate. He's thrown only 4 balls since the 3rd inning. That being number 4 right there. It's a 2-1 count. I got that stat in just in time, huh?
Yep, there it is.
3-1. By the way, this is further than he went in his game against San Diego. He was taken out in the 7th inning without getting an out. There's ball 4, his first walk of the afternoon. Now McRae will have to be watched. 7 stolen bases. He has not been caught. Phillies get the bullpen up. Abbott's up. Borland's up.
Well, I wish they had the sound effect mics when I was playing. That sound, look at that. Pow.
Well, you probably wouldn't have bothered to warm up anymore. I mean, it makes it sound better than it is, doesn't it?
I'd have thought I could throw hard. Pow. Like that sound. Well out on the turf. McRae almost with 2 feet on the turf.
Yeah, you almost have to throw over there.
Yep.
And a perfect throw would have had him. McRae went back to the bag and came up short.
Took a little bit of a circle route coming back. Didn't go directly to the bag. Kind of swept around.
He's out there again, daring a throw again.
Kind of goes around, does get back just in time. Throw from Williams just a little bit on the home plate side of the bag. Took Hollins a while to get the ball around, but that was very close.
Pitch just missed. Mike Williams due to lead off the bottom half of the inning. So there's a very good chance, in fact a certainty really, that one more out and he is out of the ball game. Close again. 2 of the 3 throws over there have been really close.
This is the reason why McRae is such a good base runner and has the ability to steal bases. He gets the maximum lead and knows just how far he can get and still get back to the bag.
He's not out quite as far this time. Wow. Mike Williams putting the ball over there right on the money.
And McRae just able to get the hand back in. Good base stealers know exactly how far they can get out there. McRae shortens the lead up this time.
Not out as far.
But that doesn't always mean. Sometimes they'll shorten it up and then take off. Does not go.
To me, Teak, it looked like he shortened it up each of the last 2 times.
Yeah, he had almost had both feet on there for a while. Then he was kind of straddling the edge, and now this time he just got to the edge. Got 1 foot back out there again.
He's got itchy feet, though. Delay steal indeed, and the ball goes through. He's heading for 3rd base. Error on Webster following the steal by McRae, his 8th. He has not been caught.
Well, McRae goes on the delayed steal, just kind of 2 or 3 skips and then takes off. Webster for the 2nd time gets a pitch inside, a little bit of a hesitation, and all of a sudden threw the ball well wide the 2nd time on the shortstop side. McRae up and does a little bit of a pop-up sliding. The second you see the skips, and then all of a sudden that's the delayed steal. Sliding in, sees the ball in center field, comes up, and then just continues on to 3rd base for the 2nd time. Webster's thrown the ball well wide on the shortstop side to 2nd base.
3 balls and no strikes on the hitter, Sanchez. Strike 1, and you've got Sosa to bat next. So we've got a crisis situation here in the top of the 7th. The good news is there are 2 outs. stop by Williams. Out of the inning. You're watching Phillies baseball on Sports Channel. No runs, no hits, 1 error, 1 left. Go to the bottom of the inning in a 3-3 tie.
Every score, every deal, every headline changes the world of sports. Sports Channel keeps you up to date with complete sports coverage from News Sport. Start your morning with News Sport Press Box, the first and last word on the day in sports. Move into the afternoon with News Sport Journal, the news show that brings you the other side of sports. And get ready for the evening sporting events with News Sport Tonight, the show that sets the stage for the national sports scene. News Sport Press Box, News Sport Journal, News Sport Tonight. 3 great reasons to make Sports Channel your source for sports news.
That can benefit from higher octane.
Frank, we're late.
Texaco Clean System 3 Power Plus and Power Premium are formulated to clean your engine's intake valves, fuel injectors, and combustion chambers while you're driving. For smooth starts and sure acceleration, just give us 5 tanks, and we think you'll see a difference. A word of advice. Maybe you should keep the windows rolled up.
Add more life to your car. Take it to the star.
A special allocation of America's best-selling car, Ford Taurus, means now's the best time to save big on a huge selection. Now get 6.9 APR financing or up to $1,500 cash back from Ford. And Taurus comes loaded with dual airbags, V6 power, and air conditioning, plus up to $1,500 cash back. But hurry, it all ends June 3rd, and so does your chance to get $1,500 cash back or 6.9 financing. So get to your Quality Plus Ford dealer and get the best Taurus deal of the year.
True or false? Fatigue is one of the most common symptoms noticed in retrospect by people who have had heart attacks. True. If your fatigue is associated with chest heaviness or chest pain, you should have a cardiovascular evaluation.
Tony Longmire's out to hit for Mike Williams. His afternoon's complete, and it was a good afternoon. 7 innings pitched, 7 hits, 3 runs, all earned, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts through a total of 93 pitches. Talked about Fregosi just liking to have 5 solid innings out of Mike Williams. He got more than that this afternoon. Got a nice, strong performance from Mike.
At this point, Phillies need offense, so here's Longmire. Tony, a .400 hitter. 1 homer, 5 RBIs. 4 for 15 as a pinch hitter. He'll try to trigger the inning then with the top of the order to follow. Bottom of the 7th at Veterans Stadium. Longmire hits one to deep center. McRae back. Makes the play. They say if it stays in the ballpark, McRae will catch it. He is a good center fielder.
Well, Tony takes this one to the deepest part of the ballpark, as far as you can go. Takes McRae right up to the pad in center field. You see the 408 sign. McRae was about 405. But as you said, if it stays in the ballpark, McRae catches it. Tony gave it a long ride, just not quite long enough.
Now Lenny Dykstra. Lenny today has walked and singled and grounded out. He's 1 for 2 with a run scored. Traxel starts him with a breaking ball. The 100 pitch point for Traxel. And he too has a very good ratio. Not quite 2 to 1, but not bad.
Got a little activity in the Cubs bullpen since it gets to that 100 pitch mark. Kasian and Wendell, same 2 that were up the last inning, up again.
One ball, 1 strike on Lenny. We still haven't figured out whether this is a series or not, but at any rate, the Phillies have won 9 series and split 2. We've decided that if the Phillies win today, this counts as a series. If they lose, it was a 1-game appearance by the Cubs. Another play for McRae. High sky, he's having trouble. Oh, he really fought that. But he makes the catch, and that's the 2nd out.
Bright afternoon, not a whole lot of clouds in the sky, bright sunshine. You see McRae shading his eyes until the very last second. trying to keep that sun out of his eyes, was able to capture the ball. Outfitters will tell you that even on bright afternoons like this, they would rather have a few of those white fluffy clouds up there. It gives you a little contrast with the baseball, but not very much up there this afternoon.
Mariano Duncan, that 1 for 3 is deceiving. He's been on base 3 straight times and has scored twice. He reached once on a force out, reached another time on an error. It's up to Mariano to keep a streak alive here. The Phillies have had base runners every half inning until now. Hits in every inning, save the second. Phillies will need a pitcher in the 8th inning, and Norm Charlton is up in the bullpen, and he has not been in a ball game since last Saturday night when he got hit by Finley's line drive in the forehead. And 2. Gritty effort by Traxel today. As far as his situation is concerned, he just batted last inning, so Cubs will make their decision about whether he stays in the game strictly on his performance in the mound. Strike 3 called, only his 3rd strikeout. So for the first time, the Phillies go in order. At the end of 7 innings, it's a 3-3 game.
Next is Lady. Exceptional sheen. Oh, very good color. Prince. Hands.
Oh, such stateliness, such majesty.
Larry. Larry.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
The best of show? Mort.
I like practicing my kind of caring medicine with Keystone for the Blues. My patients get the quality care and personal attention they deserve. They learn to stay healthy with regular checkups, and there are no claim forms. All this and Keystone's wellness programs are covered under the plan. Plus, I can refer them to the finest area hospitals and specialists. I'm pleased to be affiliated with Keystone. They encourage the kind of medicine I believe in.
Ask your employer for Keystone. We're the caring HMO you can lean on.
Who's worried about the air we're breathing? Who's controlling emissions and expanding the use of non-polluting fuels? And who's already decreased the pollutants in our air by more than 3 million tons a year? Who? People like you. People who live here. People who know what you care about.
Phillies baseball is brought to you by Bud Light. If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
3-3 game, moving now to the top half of the 8th inning, and the Phillies have a new pitcher. Making his first appearance since that near disaster on Saturday is left-hander Norm Charlton. Norm 1-2 in his 14th game today. You saw his earned run average 9.64. And he's had mixed success. He's had, some disastrous outings, but he's also had some outings where he has really helped the Phillies. Trying to get his feet back on the ground after the arm surgery that he had 2 years ago. He actually missed almost all of 2 years. Got the heart of the Cub order to deal with here, 2 of which are left-handed. Following Sosa, you've got Grace and Wilkins. What a rip by Sosa. You ever get hit by a batted ball that hard, Teep?
No. And have no desire.
No, I'm
probably the worst one I got right here at the vet. Schmitty hit one off my hip one night. It was wet on the infield. Right to Charlton. He hit one of those vicious one-hoppers back that hit the turf and skidded, and that took me right off the hip. Unfortunately for me, at the time, Schmidt had a pulled hamstring, bounced over to third base, and they threw him out at first. And he was madder than a wet hen. Hit it right on the button, ricocheted off very little target. He still ended up getting thrown out at first because the hamstring just wouldn't let him get down the line.
Just a piece of it. Sosa still alive.
That one and another former Phil, Tony Perez, when he was playing with the Reds, whacked the line drive off my shin. That didn't feel real good.
No, I bet not.
He was upset too, though. It didn't.
He didn't get a hit?
No, he didn't get an RBI. There was a guy on second. He didn't get it out of the infield.
Close. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Sosa.
It's funny about hitters like that. You know, they beat you about the body, and they're not concerned about anything except that they didn't get a hit or they didn't get an RBI. They don't care about your physical well-being, that they've just beat the ball off of you.
Didn't come to visit you in the hospital.
No.
Just a piece of that one, too. Charlton picking up where Mike Williams left off, once a different baseball. Third baseman Charlie Hayes way over at the line against Sosa. It's the late inning guarding the line defense in a tie ball game here. There's the ground ball, and it goes through the hole. Well, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Sosa gets a single. Might have been fielded by Hayes had he been in his normal spot.
Yeah, but the reason you're guarding the line is you're trying to eliminate doubles. You'll give them singles, but you don't want that man to be instantly in scoring position. Sosa right here, the breaking ball from Charlton, hits it through the hole. Charlie over there against the line, not able to get to it. But if you hit it on that side of Charlie, it's a single. If he's playing off the line, you hit it on the other side, it's a double, and you've got the go-ahead run in scoring position with nobody out. So that's the reason the defense is played that way.
Theory being now that Charlton will be able to get the left-handed batters, and he has 2 to work with here, Grace and Wilkins. Grace hits one the opposite way, but Jeffries is there, and that's the first out of the inning. Grace retired on 1 pitch. Up comes the Cub catcher, Rick Wilkins.
See right there, got those glasses open. Still hasn't figured out how to keep the mouth closed though when he chases that ball.
He's a Michael Jordan fan, I guess. He just doesn't stick out the tongue yet.
He's working on it.
Wilkins, nothing out of 3 today. Popped up, line drive to the warning track in right, and a ball hit to the track in left that Jeffries caught. So he's 0 for 3, but it's been a tough 0 for 3. Sosa earlier in the ball game picked up his 7th stolen base, and nobody's thrown him out. He's 7 for 7.
This time the situation with Sosa just a little bit different. Has the left-hander Charlton on the mound as opposed to the right-handed Mike Williams. Always more difficult to steal off the left-handers. They're standing there looking right at you.
There he goes. No throw. It'll be another steal for Sosa. Well, he picked a good pitch because Webster had to catch it low and inside.
He had to go down and inside and just was not able to get the ball out of the glove quickly. So Lenny, instead of going ahead and making a throw, just decides to hold on to it. You see right here, this pitch tails down and in. Lenny has to reach way over, and then when he tries to get the ball out of the glove, doesn't get a clean grip on it right away. Sosa did not have an exceptionally good jump, but the location of the pitch made it impossible for Webster to throw.
The 2-0 pitch. 3-0 now on Wilkins. 8 for 8 in steals. All 4. Wilkins draws a walk, and the Cubs have 2 aboard with 1 out, and Now the right-handed batters are coming up. So here comes Johnny Padres out of the dugout to confer with his hurler. The great Johnny Pods heads out there to talk with Charlton.
And as he heads out, there's action in the Phillies bullpen. Toby Borland, Kyle Abbott, both throwing. Bang, bang. Pod's conversations are always short and to the point. This one's already over.
I've never seen him stay out there very long.
He doesn't go there to socialize. He's got a message to deliver. He delivers it, and he gets himself back in the dugout. Talking to him the other day, he says, I never go to the mound and tell a pitcher what pitch to throw. He says, you'll talk about situations, say, slow down, take your time. Might point out something about the mechanics. He says, never do I ever go out there and tell them, you know, throw this guy a curveball, throw this guy a fastball, pitch in or out. Says it's their responsibility, it's their job. They have to throw what they're comfortable and they feel confident in. I agree with him.
Sean Dunston, the batter, 1 for 3 today. And it's in for a strike. When a pitching coach came out, and I'm sure you've had pitching coaches over the year come out and tell you what kind of pitch that you should throw, or at least suggest it. Did you feel compelled to take that suggestion?
Well, you really did. And if you had your mind set that, I think it's a good time to throw a fastball, and they come out there and tell you it's time to throw a breaking ball. Well, first of all, you're not going to throw a good breaking ball because you're not convinced it's the right pitch to throw. And you're not going to throw the fastball because you're not going to throw the pitch you want to throw, because you're going to say, well, what happens if I throw the fastball and it gets hit? Well, then the coach is all over me. You got to do what the coaches tell you. So it puts you in a bad situation.
Ground ball to short. Could be. There's one. That's the other one. A double play. You're watching Phillies baseball on Sports Channel. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left on base. Go to the bottom of the 8th. Still 3-3.
Go with us, Philadelphia! Pennsylvania, baby! You want to talk sports? Forget about that syrup you got in that town. Let's rage. We get thick. We yell, we scream, we throw elbows to the head. There's plenty of roughing. We do it all. Third man in, instigating. We love brawls in the corner. Get thrown into the penalty box tonight with us. Come in and vent your spleen. We go deep-throating it out here in the Bay, San Fran, sourdough style. We talk sports.
You talk to the feds tomorrow, I'll kill you.
Have we played enough games here?
What did Roman tell you in that car?
A man lies dead by his own hand, yet this boy remains silent.
I wasn't in that car.
You and I both know he doesn't know anything.
We need to talk to this child.
We know more about your client's actions than you do.
Sometimes being strong means asking for help.
I don't know nothing.
You've got to start telling me the truth. I'm scared.
Special silver season promotions and 3 big games coming up against the Marlins. Friday, June 16th at 7:35. Come early with your bags packed and you can win a Rosenbluth instant vacation. Saturday the 17th at 7:05. It's a Phillies card set for kids 14 and under, courtesy of Mellon PSFS. Sunday, June 18th at 1:35. A relaxed fit baseball cap with a classic logo for men 15 and over, courtesy of Texaco. Call 463-1000.
It's everything you ever dreamed of, suiting up every day in your own Phillies uniform under the Florida sun in February and taking the field with Boa, Cash, Taylor, Luzinski, and great stars of the Phillies past. It's Phillies Dream Week, your chance to live the dream of a lifetime. To reserve your space and to learn more about the no money down 4-year payment plan, call 215-938-1200. You can call right now. That's 215-938-1200. Join us at Phillies Dream Week.
Now Norm Charlton got out of the inning with a double play ground ball, and now we go to the bottom half of the 8th inning. And if Harry Carey was here, and if he was the Phillies announcer, I know just what he'd say.
Let's get a run.
Just the guys to do it, too. Jeffries, Hollins, and Hayes. Jeffries 2 out of 3 today. RBI double in the first, single in the third. And still facing the Cubs starter, Steve Traxel. Nice job by Traxel today. Strike 1. Thrown a lot of pitches, but apparently still has his stuff. Cubs are going to get some bullpen activity, though.
A little stirring going on down there. Nobody in a real big hurry.
1 strike. Wendell again and Cassian again. Same
No wonder they're not in a hurry. They're already loose.
That's right. They're ready.
They've been throwing all afternoon.
Outside, 2 balls and 1 strike. Tie ball game. It's great for the home team to get a run in the bottom of the 8th, get them out in the 9th, and you've got your regulation victory. Perfect time to break a tie. And the Phillies have the heart of the order up there. Phillies have not scored since back in the 3rd inning, and the runs they got then were not earned. All 3. Traxel has walked a pair. Hasn't walked anybody since the 2nd inning. Now he has, you bet. And the leadoff man at that. That's got to get their attention in the Cubby dugout. Jim Riggleman, the Cub manager, is headed for the mound right now as we take a look at Traxel's numbers. I don't think he's got the hook right here.
No, not the way he's going out there. Normally, if a manager is going out to make a change, he takes that long, slow walk. Riggleman on the jog to the mound. Just checking with Traxel, making sure how he is. Got the whole defense, infield defense in there, so they're talking about what they may or may not do here if Jim Fregosi elects to have Dave Hollins bunt or a possible hit and run, trying to cover all the different possibilities. Had this situation last night. Hollins did not bunt. See what Jim Fregosi elects to do this afternoon. Riggleman now on his way back. Cubs back to their defensive positions. All the strategy has been laid. Let's see what Dave Hollins decides to do about all that strategy.
I think one of the factors here is that, you know, if a pitcher is going to be wild, the theory is let him be wild. And Hollins has such a good eye that he might draw a walk and get the run on the second base that way. So I don't think there's going to be a bunt, but we shall see. Ball 1. Now he's thrown, what, 5 in a row out of the zone?
Yes, he has.
Traxel earlier in the game had given no indications of wildness. As we say, hadn't walked anybody since the 2nd inning.
Jeffries has run over at first, being held by Grace. Therefore, there is a hole on the right side for Hollins. Grace having to hold the corner, trying to cheat to the backside, get himself a little more room. See, normally the first baseman will hold the runner from in front of the bag. Grace trying to slide around behind the bag, get a little deeper. He's in the normal position now, standing in front of the bag. As we saw in the last pitch, he's kind of shuffling and trying to get around behind the bag before Traxel delivers the plate. That way, the deeper he can get, now he's moved to the backside of the bag, the deeper he can get, the more of that hole on the right side he can cover. So he's now moved to the backside of the bag. He's not really intent on taking a pickoff throw over there. He's trying to get back in fielding position.
Traxel misses with a breaking ball. Will that detract Traxel from throwing over there, do you think, because of that position?
It should, because with Grace behind the bag, if he throws over and the throw is low at all, Jeffries coming back into the bag as the base runner, whether he's diving or coming back feet first, will be between Grace and the baseball. So, you know, you got a block on Grace. That's why you stand on the front part of the bag, so you can get the throw before it gets to the runner. That back position, you can't get the ball first.
Now it's 2-2 on Hollins. He has struck him out twice. It's a full count on Hollins. We've seen that all season long. Dave with such a good eye, leads the league, leads the majors, in fact, with walks, 36.
Jim Fregosi has a decision to make right now. Hollins has struck out twice. Do you start Jeffries at first base? We talked about how well Wilkins throws.
I don't think so. That's an unaggressive approach here, but I don't think so here. There he goes. Ball 4. Throw to second didn't matter. Base on balls for Hollins, his major league leading 37th. And the Phillies get the runner to second base, just like we suggested, Zeke, with a walk.
See the pitch from Traxel right here. Ball moving down over the middle of the plate. Greg Bonan says it's just a little bit low, so Hollins moves down to first. Jeffries, who was running, down at second base. Conversation going on between Larry Bow and Charlie Hayes. Again, everybody making sure that they know what page they're on. No use taking any chances at this point. Crucial part of the ball game. Cubs confer at the mound. Bow and Hayes confer. Not using a whole lot of signs right here, folks. We're going to talk about it. Make sure everybody knows what's going on.
Now, Charlie Hayes' options would be to bunt or to hit the ball to the right side. You just don't see these guys in the middle of the lineup bunt that often.
No, they don't, and they're not used to bunting. Now with runners on first and second, Grace is going to play behind Hollins at first base, again trying to cover up some of that hole on the right side. So Johnson at third in front of the bag, waiting to see if Hayes is going to bunt or not.
A little cue shot. That's going to move the runners all right. How about that? That's like a bunt. Exactly like a bunt. Except that Charlie gets charged with a time at bat.
Jim Fregosi elects to let Charlie have a chance at driving in the run. Doesn't get that done, but he did cue it enough just to get the secondary objective done. It's kind of the hard way of doing it, but Phillies end up with runners on second and third, even though that was not the intention of the play. Jeffries is the runner over at third base. Hollins down at second.
And up in the Phillies bullpen, Heathcliff Slocum. Phillies don't have the lead yet. He won't come in unless they do, but he's got to be ready to pitch the ninth inning if the Phillies do get a run here. They're going to walk Varsho. He will not have a chance to beat the club that drafted him. Varsho draws the intentional walk.
Oh, walking to get to Webster. You think there's a chance you might see a Darren Dalton, a Jim Eisenreich? Longmire's already gone.
If we did, I'll bet you that Larry Cassian would be in the ball game.
I'll take that matchup. The way Traxel's been throwing,
right?
I'll take my chances.
I'm sure, but that will be the Cubs' counter move here if that's what we see. So far, Jim Fregosi has not tipped his hand. He still has Webster out in the on-deck circle. Of course, when you make those moves, Jim Fregosi's got the last move to make. When they bring the pitcher in, he's got to stay in. Jim could send Gallagher up then if he wanted to. Here comes somebody, and it's Dalton.
Well, Jim Fregosi says, I'm going to send up one of my best RBI men to the plate. You put whoever you want on the mound. Jim Riggleman, it's your move. So Darren Dalton, pinch hit for Lenny Webster.
This is the loudest roar we've heard from this crowd today. A crowd, by the way, of 26,149. And here comes Riggleman. Cubs manager is coming out. He's calling the umpire over. I think he's got a double move here. Or does he? He may have just been signaling for the left-handed pitcher. So at Veterans Stadium, the wheels are turning. A 3-3 ball game in the 8th inning. We'll be right back.
Houston's made some big changes, but you'll still see their big stars like Bagwell, Biggio, and Drabek when the Astros play the Phillies Tuesday, June 13th, Wednesday, June 14th, and Thursday, June 15th, all at 7:35. Relive memories of the past. Then, watch the hitmen of the present try to put a hurt on Houston in this special silver season. What a season. What a show. Call 463-1000. That's 463-1000.
A special allocation of America's best-selling car, Ford Taurus, means now's the best time to save big on a huge selection. Now get 6.9 APR financing or up to $1,500 cash back from Ford. And Taurus comes loaded with dual airbags, V6 power, and air conditioning, plus up to $1,500 cash back. But hurry, it all ends June 3rd, and so does your chance to get $1,500 cash back or 6.9 financing. So get to your Quality Plus Ford dealer and get the best Taurus deal of the year.
It is 3-3 for the moment anyway. We're in the bottom half of the 8th inning, and Dalton's going to see what he can do about changing all of that. The Phillies have him loaded here, and a young left-hander, Larry Cassian, comes into the ball game, and he's new to the Cubs this year, Teak.
Yeah, he is. He's making his 11th appearance of the season. No wins, losses, or saves in 7 innings. He has a 129 earned run average. Pretty much of a left-handed specialist. Comes in to get that one left-hander out. Well, that's his job right now. Unfortunately for Mr. Cassian, it's not your normal left-hander that's at the plate. One of the better ones, especially in an RBI situation. Darren Daulton coming up to hit for the Phillies.
A lot of different ways that Daulton can get the run in here. What he'll do is try to hit the ball hard in the air.
Real hard would be real good. Don't have to particularly pull the ball in this situation. In fact, you're probably better off not pulling it. Of the 3 arms in the outfield, Scott Bullitt in left field, the weakest of the 3. Not meaning that he has a weak arm, but Sosa's got a cannon in right, and McRae with a good arm in center. Cubs outfield playing deep. See right here, the infield a little better than halfway in the middle. Outfield deep and straight away.
Daulton takes strike 1. Cassian started him with a breaking ball. 5 career grand slams for Daulton. The last one in '93 against the Cards. Cassian ahead in the count. No balls and 2 strikes.
See right here, drops down, tries to throw the ball. A flat fastball, though. The sidearm delivery didn't fool Daulton. Had a good rip at it, just fouled it back off Wilkins' mask.
Way outside. Jeffries, the most important of the 3 runners. He's at third. Hollins at second. And the runner at first is Gary Varsho. He drew the intentional walk. So the Phillies don't have a hit in the inning. 3 walks. Whoa. You got to have a little courage to take a pitch like that.
Breaking ball from Cassian, just off the outside part of the plate. Count now level at 2-2.
Struck him out. That's a big, big, big strikeout for this left-hander, Cassian.
Cassian brought in to get the left-hander out. Good breaking ball after just missing with one before that. Comes back with another one. 2-2. Had the courage to throw the breaking ball. Threw it in a good spot. Daulton stayed with it. Tried to hit it the other way. Just couldn't quite catch up to it.
Now Stocker will swing around and bat from the right side. Stocker in the ball game today, 1 for 3, a single. Stocker hits for a better average from the left side of the plate, and of course he gets considerably more at bats from the left side of the plate. Breaking ball is outside, ball 1. Dave Gallagher, who has been sidelined by a hamstring injury, is now in the on deck circle to hit for Charlton. By the time Gallagher gets up there, the Phillies will have a lead. Looper, foul. It is going to be out of play, right into the first row. Second row. One ball, 1 strike on Stocker. TQ mentioned Cassian, a left-handed specialist, meaning he comes in normally to get left-handed hitters and only left-handed hitters. In this case, they don't want to bring another pitcher in because Stocker just swings around and bats from the other side of the plate anyway. Hard hit. Oh, it goes through. Here comes one run. Here comes another run. The Phillies lead 5-3. Probably scoring a hit. They do. But Dunston will tell you he should have had it.
Stocker hits the ball right on the button. Hits the ball hard. Let's check right here to see if Dave Hollins, the runner at second base, kind of shields Dunston a little bit. Stocker hits it right in. Yeah, the ball does. Dunston, the ball gets hidden behind Hollins as he comes off second base, kind of snuck up on Dunston, didn't get a real good look at it. Hits off his glove, goes out into center field. The Phillies get a couple big runs, and Jim Riggleman's on the way to the mound again. See Jeffries right there. He sees the ball kick off. Get across the plate, do a little coaching for the next runner. Come on, come on. There you go, David. Way to go, guys.
Larry Cassian is going to leave the ball game. Big hit by Stocker. He has 14 runs batted in now. And we've got another pitching change here at Veterans Stadium. It's 5-3 Phillies in the 8th. We'll be right back.
Whether you're negotiating a deal,
Okay, if you're good, I'll read you a story.
Come on, make it 2.
calling in an order,
Skip the strawberry. We want chocolate.
scheduling a meeting,
I'm at the big artichokes.
or just checking in with the boss,
Honey, is it okay if I stay another half hour?
the most important thing is that the call goes through. A mobile phone is only as good as the system it's on. Choose Bell Atlantic Mobile, the heart of communication. Call 1-800-255-BELL.
Al,
Yeah.
we got a player.
I'd like the lottery ticket.
Yeah, she is a player. She's a big player. I'll say straight. You're nuts. Straight, and backs it up with a pair.
428 and boxes.
She's so boxing. Ding, 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 ding. Bring it. All right, okay. All right. Oh, all right. All right. Hey, Adrian, you know her? No, I don't know her, Ed. I was making a literary reference.
The Pennsylvania Lottery's daily number. Play it pair, box, or play it straight.
So the Phillies now have a 5-3 lead here in the bottom half of the 8th inning. And their closer, Slocum, is ready to come in. Here is Turk Wendell pitching for Chicago. Wendell 1-0, appearing in his third ball game. He had been on the DL for a while, and he's pitched only an inning and 2/3 so far this year. Wendell's he's that guy that brushes his teeth in the dugout between innings.
Chews about 10 pounds of licorice. Got a real good act. Hasn't had real good numbers so far in his career. He keeps being transported back and forth between Chicago and the AAA affiliate. See Dunston still thinking about what could have been. I really believe a big part of that play, Dunston's got good hands, and a big part of that play was that ball was hit right off the back hip of Hollins. And just as he vacated the area, as Dunston was moving to the ball, didn't get a real good look at it because the ball was obscured by Hollins' body. Kind of snuck up on him, got to him a little quicker than he thought. Barry Varsho, the runner, over at third. Kevin Stocker, who just drove in the 2 runs at first. Eisenreich at the plate.
Yeah, they had Gallagher out, but Eisenreich's going to bat now that the Cubs have brought in a right-hander. Izzy at .377, 2 homers, 15 RBIs, 0 for 3 as a pinch hitter. Wendell, a 27-year-old who is still listed as a rookie despite a number of cups of coffee in the majors. Out of Pittsfield, Massachusetts. Turk is 6'2", 190 pounds. Grounder to Grace at first. That's the final out of the inning, but the Phillies have picked up 2 runs here in the inning on just 1 hit. And 2 men left on base. Go to the 9th. It's 5-3 Phillies.
Your advertising is your voice in the marketplace. Advertise in the genuine Bell Atlantic Yellow Pages, and your voice reaches more customers. A A bigger ad gives you a bigger voice. A color ad gives your voice more impact. But if you don't have an ad, it's like having no voice at all. 9 out of 10 use it, and they're all ears. The genuine Bell Atlantic Yellow Pages. Bell Atlantic, the heart of communication.
For cars that can benefit from higher octane, Texaco Clean System 3 Power Plus and Power Premium were formulated to clean your engine's intake valves, fuel injectors, and combustion chambers while you're driving. To give you smooth starts and sure acceleration. Just give us 5 tanks, and we think Power Plus and Power Premium will make quite an impression on you.
Add more life to your car. Take it to the star.
Al, we got a player.
I'd like a lottery ticket.
Yeah, she is a player. She's a big player. I'll say, straight. You're nuts. Straight, and backs it up with a pair.
428 and boxes.
Oh, she's so boxing. Ding, 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 ding. Bring it. All right, okay. All right. All right. Adrian, you know her? No, I don't know her, Ed. I was making a literary reference.
The Pennsylvania Lottery's daily number. Play it pair, box, or play it straight.
Carlos Perez is pitching that game for Montreal, and he has an RBI triple in there. The Dodgers and Atlanta will be starting before too long. Then Cincy will play at Pittsburgh. In the American League, Chicago at Cleveland and Minnesota at Texas tonight, and that is it on the scoreboard. For the Phillies, Jim Eisenreich remains in to play in right field now as we go to the 9th, and the Phillies have a new battery. Darren Dalton will stay in and catch. And the closer, Heathcliff Slocum, is on Teak, and he's been marvelous. The league leader.
He has been. 18 appearances now for Slocum. 1 win, no losses. League leading 13 saves. Not to mention that 1.47 earned run averages. Yeah, just throw that number in just as a little kicker.
We have the top 2 save guys in the league here. Only one behind is Randy Myers. Hopefully in a short period of time he'll be 2 behind.
Yes, exactly.
Howard Johnson leads it off. Hojo 0 for 3 in the ball game today. Johnson, Bullitt, and a pinch hitter for Wendell.
We mentioned this situation early down at the bottom of the lineup. Try to get those guys out. Do not let the Cubs get back up to the top part of the lineup, especially Sammy Sosa. That's the one guy you really do not want to see in this inning. Do the job on the bottom part of the lineup. Make your afternoon a nice, easy one, Heathcliff.
Starts him with a strike. That's always a good sign. And Slocum already has at least 8 1-2-3 innings. I saw that in the paper the other day. I don't keep that in my own book, but there's a fly ball to right field. It's not deep. Eisenreich just into the ball game, gets a chance to make a play. Johnson is out, 1 down in the 9th.
Well, there's one.
Coming out in the on-deck circle to act as the pinch hitter will be Kevin Roberson after Bullitt bats. Roberson is a switch hitter, so he'll bat left-handed. Bullitt, RBI triple back in the 4th inning today. That was a discouraging inning because the Phillies had taken a 3-1 lead over the Cubs in the bottom of the 3rd, and the Cubs came right back with 2 in the 4th. One ball, 1 strike. Broken bat ground ball to Duncan. And Mariano cannot handle it. The hot turf here today. He knew it was going to bounce high. He was ready for that, but he wasn't ready for where it bounced.
We mentioned the new turf. We mentioned in the afternoon how hard it is and how high it bounces. Duncan goes all the way up. You wouldn't think on a jam shot ground ball that you would have to go that high, but Duncan was ready, got up, just not able to snare it.
Dunk will be charged with an error. Second for the Phillies in the ball game. The other one charged to Webster. And now Roberson just that quickly representing the tying run in the ball game. Roberson batting .083, but he does have a home run. And he hit it as a pinch hitter. He's 1 for 10 as a pinch hitter. It was a bases empty homer.
The Cubs carry a 12-man pitching staff, so Jim Riggleman short on the bench as far as bench players go. Only 4 position players on his bench. Roberson today, the only left-handed bat available. He's a switch hitter. All the other guys strictly right-handed, so Riggleman uses his 1 left-handed bat here against Slocum.
Popped him up. Oh, it's a high one, too. Dalton throws the mask far away. Foul ground and right near the plate for the second out. Roberson retired. Boy, that was way up that elevator shaft, wasn't it?
That was way up the elevator shaft, right near home plate. Ended up being a foul ball. You see right here, Dalton catches the ball just in foul territory, but who's still standing there? Roberson. What if that ball drops and it's in fair territory? Roberson's still standing at home plate.
And he's going to be out at first, right?
You got it.
Brian McRae to be dealt with. A 1 for 3 afternoon plus a walk. He's picked up a stolen base and he scored one of the Cub runs. Dalton took the brunt of that one. Ouch. Now the fans on their feet. Business person special crowd wants to see it end right here on an 0-2 count to McRae.
Good chance you're going to see the splitter right now.
Slocum, of course, originally up with these Cubs. There's a bouncing ball for Duncan. Can't handle that one either, but it goes to Stocker, and they get the out. How about that for a game-ending play? Duncan fought it, but deflected it over to Stocker for the force out. And the Phillies wind up with the victory here, and after 33 games of the year, they have still not suffered back-to-back losses.
It's like a highlight pass right there. The ball again pops out of Duncan's glove. This time pops right to Stocker.
You're watching Phillies baseball on Sports Channel.
Yeah, guys, that's the way we practice it.
Hi, I'm Gary Cobb, and I've got 2 good reasons for you to check out my show on Sports Channel. One reason is my guests. Tune in to G Cobb Live every Thursday at 6:30 on Sports Channel. As for the other reason, let's just say it's personal.
Monet, Matisse, Gauguin, that's some of the artwork I used to own.
What a wussy.
But thanks to Prism, now I got some real artwork. A limited edition print. If you keep your grubby mitts off it, someday it'll be worth something. A Philly Hall of Famers, Roberts, Carlton Schmidt, and Richie Ashburn. It's signed and numbered by Hall of Fame artist Dick Perez. And I got it just for ordering Prism. I even got 1 month free. So do yourself a favor and call 1-800-CABLE-ME. It's destined to become a collector's item.
You're negotiating a deal.
Okay, if you're good, I'll read you a story.
Come on, make it 2.
Calling in an order.
Skip the strawberry. We want chocolate.
Scheduling a meeting.
I'm at the Big Artichokes.
Or just checking in with the boss.
Honey, is it okay if I stay another half hour?
The most important thing
Hello?
is that the call goes through. A mobile phone is only as good as the system it's on. Choose Bell Atlantic Mobile, the heart of communication. Call 1-800-255-BELL.
2 in the 8th wins it for the Phillies as they are 5-3 victors over the Chicago Cubs in this 1-game appearance here today. And in the bottom of the 8th inning, the big hit, of course, was this ball by Stocker. The ball that Stocker hit toward Dunston, deflected away from him. The bases were loaded at the time. Goes past Dunston when you expected to see him come up with it, but was hard hit and scored a base hit. It knocked in 2, and the Phillies did not give up the lead thereafter. Jeffries scored the go-ahead run. Hollins came in behind him, and the Phillies had their 5-3 lead. And that makes Kevin Stocker, our Texaco star of the game. Stock had 2 hits in the ball game today, and he now has 14 runs batted in out of the number 8 hole. So the Phillies win, and they're in the 33rd game of the year now and have not suffered back-to-back losses. We'll be back with more from Veterans Stadium in just a moment.
Hey, one oil says it's got special molecules. Another says it's for little engines. One even makes it sound like oil can think. Come on. What's the square root of 4? See, I use Kendall oil because it lets my engine do the talking. So next time you change oil, be smart. Use Kendall. Kendall Motor Oil. Hey, man, 5.
Teak and I have just decided that this is a series, even though the Cubs were here for only 1 game since the Phillies won it. That's official. This was a 1-game series, Teak.
So the Phillies win another series. They still have not lost 2 in a row. The beat marches on, and the club's going to march on to San Francisco this evening.
Save number 14 for Heathcliff Slocum. He is now 2 ahead of Randy Myers, leading the National League in saves. 5-3 Phillies, a final here today as the Phillies win their 24th game of the year. We'll be back in just a moment.